All right, hell yeah. So we have Insignificant, you know what I mean? We're finally there, our first big class 5. Okay, so here's Bud's boner, and there it is. And then hell yeah, Insignificant. So you just have a massive outside corner, you know what I mean? And okay, well we're just gonna stick on these until we get some footage. So we're just gonna do the whole thing through pictures from Ace and then Google Earth, and then we'll just show just film after film of Insignificant. But I'm going to go back to here because, hey, even just up here, what do you notice about Insignificant? Well, there's a huge island. Great. You have a left channel. No one runs that. And then you have a right channel. So very, very indicative of some of the larger rapids on the GAULEY. Like even second drop of Lost Paddle, you got two channels. No one goes over there except the pro kayakers or whatever down the left channel of Lost Paddle. But anyway, I just want to reiterate just how wide the GAULEY can be for being kind of a middle-sized river. You know what I mean? 2,800 CFS ain't a lot of flow, but yeah, you see how it gets distributed over just a really large rapid. But anyway, the other things that I want to point out that we'll point out, we'll keep pointing them out, and stuff that doesn't get pointed out all the time. See this arc right here? So this is like from a topography, this is a drop right here. You know what I mean? This whole let's say horseshoe, or this whole first so this is a significant gradient drop because here's your chute over here. This is your left-hand chute. This is your main, kind of line down the middle. Here's your, and I think it's too small to even see the massive hole. But, unless the massive hole's right there. Yeah, that's the massive hole. Yeah. But anyway, and then right here, again, you have kind of another significant drop. So here is your flat gradient right here. And then coming in, you do have kind of consistent gradient, but it's pretty slow going in until you actually get to this first drop. So that's definitely what I wanted to look at. All right, so you have Insignificant to Iron Curtain just to kind of show you what comes next. After Insignificant, you have Screaming S-Turn, Pick a Slot, then a corner, Iron Curtain, this huge, a lot of unnamed rapids, and then Pillow Rock is on the next big bend. All right, so now we're going to get to Insignificant. And again, Buzz Boner, you got a lot of pick up the pieces before Insignificant. All right, so on Insignificant, obviously slanted undercut at the bottom. That's the signature for Insignificant. You have the massive hole. I might call it massive hole, pour over, massive pour over, but that's what we're talking about. Now, how massive is it? Well, for a kayaker, it ain't going to kill you. You can pop in there, pop out. You know what I mean? You're not going to get surf for days. It's going to suck. And if you're not very good at kayaking and you run in the upper GAULEY, you might swim. You know what I mean? And it is definitely, if you don't do nothing, you're going to go right into it. And it's going to suck. So anyway, so that massive hole is kind of just right in the middle of just the run. So you have to go to the left or right of it. That's significant. All right, so there's your slanted undercut. There's your massive hole. I like some of these Ace footage, but what? So remember how I said, oh, look at this arc through here. Look at this horseshoe. This is your significant gradient drop. Because I'll point it out right here. I'm going to be calling out that this is a green tongue. So you do have some green water in here. And you do have a tongue right here. But this is a significant drop. So this is kind of like you're floating along, and then, whoa, you got a drop. But then your green tongue kind of goes away. But this is going to be a marker, because if you go up on the left side of this tongue, you can avoid the hole. And so maybe I just kind of do that. So you got the massive hole right there. But then, yeah, look at this whole horseshoe thing. So here is your left chute over here. And then, kind of here is your crux move to get, like right here is where you got to be doing something to get away from this massive hole. And then you set up here. Here's kind of your make or break right here because it's a steep gradient drop. You can't do much floating in. after you hit this kind of V right here. All right, let's move on. Bumper rock. And so here's your right of hole line. You might identify this green, and you might identify this green tongue, and you for sure gonna this fluffy wave. You know what I mean? Hit this fluffy wave, and then you have a hole right here you can tag, and then you're gonna tag the right side of this massive pour over. Let's just talk about it right now. See how this massive pour over has kind of this this kind of right side is literally kind of almost at a 45-degree angle besides this little piece sticking out. But heck yeah, you can tag the whole right side of this. The stickiest part of this pour over is right here. So like right over this hump, this is the tallest hump, this is the steepest drop, and this is pretty close to the left side. So if you are going to run the left side, yeah, you still have a little bit. See how even this is angled? You can tag the left side of this hole. You just can't go up over this hump. If you do nothing as a kayaker, you're just going to be like whoop-de-doo and then hit this and you're going to be surfed. In a raft, the same. You're going to not get through and get flipped. So yeah, you can't go right over the top, but hell, you get a huge piece on this left side too. But that's a little more dangerous. But on this right side, it's so angled, you just get a piece for fun. You might as well just hit it. And so we'll talk about different ways to run it. Okay, but the classic is to actually get some left to right momentum, hit this wave right here, and then maybe just hit this wave, and then get all your momentum going to this bumper rock and bounce off of it, and then hopefully that'll get you going the other direction for the bottom. We'll talk about that later. That's not my favorite. Honestly, from looking at all the footage, I would say the cleanest is to, just in general, hit a little piece of this wave, but don't get crazy momentum left to right just because you'll just be over here for days. You're going to miss the bumper rock. Somebody's going to pop out on the bumper, and we'll talk about the downstream hazards. But I would get a piece of this wave, a piece of this hole, and just expect to get a piece of the right side of this massive pour over. This is a clean hit. And if you're in a 14-foot raft or even just a 3-pack like an R3, just go crush this. This will be a lot of fun. Okay. But yeah, you use this as your marker. You know what I mean? I think it is very difficult to kind of figure out, like, oh, this is a green tongue. You might not recognize it as a green tongue, but this is a drop. So you will have like let's say it'll feel like a drop, and then you're like, oh, okay, I get it. That is a tongue. I got this wave. And, okay, so that's the drive to the right. And I would just line up this seam, but there's a lot of variations. Some people catch a piece of this hole. If you catch a piece of, there's a few classic lines. You're actually going to kind of come in a little bit sideways, hit this top hole, and then be even more sideways, get your nose into this, and that'll catch your nose and then flip you around, and then you're faced upstream, and then you can just drive this direction. So you're going to be away from that slanted undercut at the bottom. All right. But yeah, you should definitely catch the right side of this massive hole. I think you should. It's the upper GAULEY. Go do it. But yeah, the bump rock, I don't know. I just want bump. That would not be my game plan if I was teaching guides on the upper GAULEY to go bump off that rock. I think that's a, you know what I mean? I don't like it. I don't like it. Anyway, yeah, if you got all that momentum going to the right just to avoid this massive hole ain't no thing. You know what I mean? This actually isn't the danger aspect, and we'll talk about that a little later. So anyway, or catch a piece of this hole, catch a piece of this, catch a piece of this, and then you're just set. You know what I mean? Else, if you avoid it all, yeah, you have to start driving left like crazy. But if you just catch a piece of this massive hole, you're just going to be floating just perfect, and we'll take a look at that. Because from this bumper rock downstream, yes, you got the slanted undercut, but you also have another hole. I'm just going to call it the swimmer's hole. And if you hit that with your raft sideways or even just a little bit off angle, someone's going to fall out. So we'll take a look at that. So you definitely just don't want to hit that. All right, what we got? Okay. Now here's the left of hole line. You definitely have to identify this tongue, drive left, And you can't drive too early. Like, why wouldn't you just be over here? Looks like this is a little tongue, you know what I mean? Well, because you just got massive submerged boulders. These will totally, you know, eject you, you know what I mean? So you have to, like, there's one right here, and then there's even one, no, here's the last one, but it's right there. And so you do have kind of this seam. You got to be patient, look for this V, and then start making your move. But at the bottom of this V, hell yeah, you can put the nose of your boat right here. But see, you can identify that rock. But yeah, so real classic is to figure out where this V is, get some momentum, and right at the bottom, put the nose of your boat hopefully on the left side of this V. If it's not over here, then you're already messed up, because you can't get too many more strokes before just running into this massive hole. But anyway, so there's your sleepers. But still, you know, let's say you do set up real good, like one stroke, and you're just going right down this seam. Well, guess what? You're gonna hit a piece of this left hole. Ain't no thing but a chicken wing. You don't need to avoid this massive hole like it's a demon or something. It's just a hole, you know what I mean? It'll stick you if you go right over the top. That would suck. But other than that, we call it eyelashing. Get a piece of the left side, get a piece of the right. And we already identified that the right side is just a normal hit. The left side, yeah, it might be a little wonky. You don't want to get too much of a piece, or any piece at all. And we'll talk about why it's actually in a 14-foot raft. If you don't get any piece of this hole at all, you got some work to do downstream to keep things halfway, I mean, from my view, halfway safe. All right, so drive hard left. Booyah. I finally, you know, put some, you know, whatever. Photoshop. There you go. You see that tongue. Now, you ain't going to look at this tongue as just like, oh, it's just, I see it from upstream, because this is a whole ledge. This is your first ledge that you're going to come through. So you're actually going to maybe see this green water, identify where the ledge is, and then, yeah, then that kind of, those two, the fact that this is a ledge and you have green water, and you see this wave, then you know where you need to be. You need to put your, so this definitely marks the right and left runs. You know what I mean? Because if you don't do nothing, the massive hole is just dead center. Couldn't be more dead center. All right, so yeah, put your boat right here, drive left, right at the bottom of that tongue, or hit this wave. Now, why can't you just go way over here for this right run? Well, you kind of have a little ejector rock. So you have to, this wave is about as far to the, yeah, right here. Not too high. This rock is I just call it a mini dildo. You know, you got to put your nose of your boat up onto this kind of nice fluffy wave. Don't go over here. Now, if you're in a ducky, or you know, just trying to survive something, we got one footage of a ducky actually going to the right side of this rock, and sure, I guess you could go over there. Nothing says you couldn't. You ain't getting a raft over there, you know, with some consistency. And if you got a 14-foot raft over here, you got too much inertia just going right for this bump rock, and you don't want to do that. So this is your limitation on how far right you can set up. So yeah, catch a piece of this. And again, we'll talk more about it. But look at this. If you catch a piece of this and catch even just a little bit of this, even if you don't catch any of this, you can still just tag the right side of this hole, get a big hit. It's not retentive over here. It's retentive on this center left side of this massive pour over. All right, because if you're work back to the right a bit, yeah, because you have to avoid the anvil. You know, down on the bottom, we need to talk about that once we actually see the bottom. But all right, there's your left chute. We'll talk about that more. But look at this left chute. It's actually backed up by this rock, which is significant. You know what I mean? If you got normal flow from the put-in to lost paddle, then yeah, this left chute, it'd be a real good option. But I don't think I got any footage of people running this left chute like when the flow was like 1,000 less, like it was only 2,000 CFS. Because yeah, if the Meadow River's screaming, they'll reduce the flow from the dam, you know, at least by 1,000 CFS. And you know, this rock is going to be sticking up out. So you do have this. This is like a good, let's say it's just a 5-foot drop. And you really like see this. You kind of want to run it on the left side. That's kind of the cleanest. Over here on the right, it's a little bit shelfy. But just know, you find the sweet spot, but it ain't just like, it ain't plug and play. Kinda. You just drop over it. Who cares? Hold on. Call hold on because it's a pretty good drop. You don't want anybody falling out. But yeah, this rock is a little bit suspect. Like, I don't really like it, but yeah, you kind of want to be on the right side if you can. Get, yeah, because you drop it and then you got this big old rock in the way. But yeah, if you drop this left chute, hell yeah, you just totally avoid the massive pour over. You just float down here, but you still got to get but if you do this left chute, yeah, you have to get past the pour over, drive to the right, and then drive back left. Okay, so yeah, this chute avoids the whole way to the left. You have to work back to the right a bit to avoid the anvil. And then let's get a view of that. Perfect. So what the hell we avoided downstream? Remember how I drew that line across? Like there's another kind of a ledge system. I mean, this is a very distinctive horseshoe, high gradient little spot on this section. Here's the massive pour over. Here's your... so yeah, as you float in, you have green water, but hey, look at this. You run out of green water. So that means that you have this tongue and this ledge, and you better have hit this wave to hit this wave to hit this wave, on the right side, or you better have put your the left part of your boat on the left side of this tongue, so you can avoid this hole on the left side. And even this boat, holy Toledo, they'll just be just fine, but they're driving like mad to avoid it. So I don't know if they set up super tight. Okay. Yeah, there's a slanted undercut, massive hole, bumper rock. There's your green tongue. There's your left to hole line, which, yeah, like I said, you could be just a little bit left of that boat. Okay, so here's, okay, so you have this anvil right there. You have a hole right here. And then you have a swimmer's hole. So those are the three. So the three things, and I kind of want to just get a view of Insignificant like that. So when we're looking at the bottom, you have this this rock sticking. And then let's segment the whole river. Okay, why don't you just go down the left side? Well, look at this. You basically have kind of a sieve of boulders over here. Your raft ain't fitting through. You'd get stuck. People would fall out, and then they'd flow right through these little gaps and probably die. So you at least, in Insignificant, it probably doesn't get talked about a whole lot because everything kind of feeds. Like you have this whole bank of rocks over here. Like even the so the chute is right here. This is your rock backed up after the chute, but your chute drop is right there. It's fairly tight. But even if you drop that, all the flow kind of ends up going to the right. So it's not super likely to be way far. You're never just going to be floating downstream way far left. But if you do like this, if you do the classic, I don't know if it's the classic, but yeah, if you do the left of the whole run, I think most people do, kayaks do, rafts probably want to do because they feel like it's conservative. But now, is it? So we'll debate both sides. But because you do have this anvil rock down here, so if you're driving hard left and avoiding this hole, a lot of people will just totally avoid this hole altogether, and they're just like way over there, over here, and it's fairly placid, it's fairly easy water to turn your boat and then drive back this way. But a couple things going on here. One is that, yes, someone would break a body part if they just floated into this anvil. It's a gnarly rock sticking right at the surface, a lot of flow going into it, a high speed, you know what I mean, good gradient, a lot of flow going smacking right into that anvil. Now above it, right here, is another protruding rock, but it's got enough water going over it that it's a hole. But this hole is a get down hole. Like if you're gonna go over, especially on the left side, even if you just hit this hole on the left side, you'll avoid the anvil. But see how you can't avoid this hole right here without just hitting the anvil. So this is your critical marker if you're gonna run the left line. is that you have to know about this hole, and you have to be okay with going over it. You can go over the left side. It's chunky as hell. You do just want to call it get down. You don't need momentum going through it. You just need to make sure people don't just explode out of the boat. Now, if you go over the top of it, it's actually it feels a little cleaner. It's still chunky. The left side's hella chunky, though. The right side is money. The right side of it you actually want to hit. And it's just the shape of the rock, just kind of the way it's shaped. Just kind of makes that left side and then over the top. But you see, it's weird because even over the top is actually a kind of a cleaner hit, but I still would call it get down. Now, the right side, hell no. It's just a fluffy wave. Go punch it. And if you do punch the right side of this, then you're in a real good spot for not putting anyone into danger on this undercut. So that's the nice thing about this left line is that it puts you it puts you, I don't know, because if you do the left line, you still have to like fight to get back to the right, and then you got to get back to the left again. So the kayakers, they'll take like one paddle stroke here, just barely miss this hole on the left, or just tag a piece of it, float down this seam. Just one stroke just to barely miss the right side of this hole, and then one stroke to just get right back in this seam. But when you got a 14-foot raft, you have so much inertia. You're already paddling like hell, like, 2 to 3 strokes going this way. You avoided the hole, and then you're like trying to paddle back this way, and you got too much momentum going this way, and then you're trying to go back the other way to avoid this undercut. So it's a little bit exaggerated when you have a 14-foot boat. Okay, so we have identified this hole, that you can hit the left side, you can hit the center. It's best to hit the right side, but then you still want to have momentum going to the left. What are the other holes? This is the other hole. This is the swimmer's hole. So if you're doing the right line, a lot of people will carry all their momentum just to avoid the massive hole again, and I wouldn't do that. I would tag a piece of this, and get a big chunk of that right side of that massive hole. You know what I mean? And then, because if you get a big chunk of the right side of this massive hole, you will literally just float just perfectly down this tongue. Like, that's the cool thing about this, and the bad thing about this hole. Like, literally, if this hole wasn't here, you could literally just perfectly float this whole rapid. So this hole is pretty awesome, because it says after it, you definitely want to be in the tailwater of this, of this hole. So just keep that in mind, because a lot of people will use so much momentum on this classic right line to avoid this hole that they'll bump off this rock. Now let's talk about that, because I just don't like that idea of just bumping off something. Someone's just gonna fall out of the boat. That's crazy. There's so much inertia there trying to bump off a rock. But anyway, and bump and spin and stuff. But if someone does fall out right here, they're going to be going right down this seam, and they're going to be swimming through the swimmer's hole. You know what I mean? And that's not cool, because they'll go underwater, and that'll suck. But it'll put them right on this seam to get like right into the undercut. So that is the hazards of running this right line. If you're carrying all your momentum to the right, yes, you've missed the massive pour over, but for what cause? You know what I mean? Then you just bumped off a rock and dropped a passenger. Well, I mean, the second someone falls out, it's the location of where they fall out that's the important part. You know what I mean? If you tag the right side of this massive pour over and someone falls out right here, they ain't getting recirced. They're just gonna, just fall out, and then they'll just be actually just so perfect, probably going all the way through. This undercut probably won't be too much in play. But the second you pass it, bump off this rock, and especially, because people will, a lot of rafts will take this classic right line, especially the industry, and they'll miss this pour over like it's the plague, and then they'll miss the bumper rock, and then they're just floating out here, and then you do have time, like hell yeah, get your crew together and paddle back the other direction. I mean, I would literally like the Gear Garage says, just like turn your boat at a literally 90-degree angle to the friggin' river and just haul. Like haul your boat sideways, because there ain't nothing flipping you from here to here. But this thing, yeah, the second you hit this, someone's going to fall out. And it's literally probably the absolute worst place to fall out. We have a great footage of someone falling out here, and they do not pop up until here. Like, I don't think they caught a breath because they popped out. Because you just have this eddy right here. So this hole creates an eddy, and anytime you got swift current on an eddy line and you go under the surface, you just ain't popping up. Your life jacket is not buoyant enough to pop you up and give you a breath. So this guy in the footage, I think he did. I think there's a chance that he might have caught one breath. For the love of God, I hope so. But it's just real easy to get. So he got 15 seconds, and we'll take a look at that. And then once you go down this seam, that's the thing. This undercut ain't no thing as long as people are in the boat. It's not a hazard. But the second someone's swimming, ooh, you're just right at that water line, and you're gonna kind of get sucked under, and you ain't popping up until these tail waves out here. So that guy got 50. So that's my 2 cents for the commercial industry. Is tag more, have a hit more of the left hole at this massive pour over, the massive hole. Hit the right side. The right side is, because even when a kayaker gets stuck, we'll watch some footage of that. The kayakers will, the only exits out this right side. You'll get surfed, and then you'll slowly work your way out the right. Okay. All right. So again, there's your anvil rock. Now here's your hole. It's a marker. If you tag the right side of this hole, you did so good. Hit this hole on the right side. If you hit it center or left, just call a friggin' get down. Like way early. You don't need no momentum. You just need to keep people in the boat. You know what I mean? Because there's great footage. Oh, you know what? The person who got the 15 seconds, it might have been from hitting this hole. That's the other place. I don't think it was. It doesn't matter. The way I explained it, this hole would give you more downtime because you might be in this seam. But there's plenty of footage of people hitting this hole and then having a couple people fall out. So we'll take a look at that. All right. So yep. And then we'll take a look at the perfect line first. And that's the classic right side, 14-foot raft, full commercial crew, and just setting up. So sometimes, like I talk a lot about, hell yeah, use all the momentum you can. If you're trying to avoid this like the plague, hell yeah, be kind of over here and use all this distance to, get as much momentum to the right as possible. You know what I mean? To avoid that. But that's not what we want to do. Because like I said, I already pointed out the downstream hazards of the swimmer's hole backed up by an undercut. So in this case, the perfect line is getting all the way over here first, and then and like I said, you got that mini dildo, so you can't just set up. You can't just set up over here and then drive from right to left, and then you'll just be perfectly behind the hole. That would also be the best line. And any way to get behind this hole early as possible sets you up for the perfect line downstream of Insignificant. And I think it's good to, get breathy on this one and really just talk about the lines from a talking perspective. I mean, this talking session ain't no more than you would actually just stare at a rapid. Most people just stare at a rapid for an hour just scouting it. But here you get all the different beta. So the perfect line is to get over here, and then you're actually just going straight. No momentum left or right. You're going to hit this wave. You tag this wave too, and then you tag the left side of that. And you square up to this to the right. You square up to this one a little bit to the right, and then you square up to that one with your bow pointing to the left on the right side of this massive hole. And once you do that, hell yeah, you don't need to use any more strokes. Maybe just one, tag the left side of this hole, and then be on your way. You literally put all your passengers out of a bad swim. The second you get to the left side of this hole, yeah, a swim over here sucks. I mean, even just your raft getting anywhere close to this anvil sucks. Having people fall out of this hole, still, you got a chance for a lot of downtime. 15, 20 seconds, 10, 15 seconds. It's crazy. So, I don't know. So, so what's the risks? I do think on this rapid, there's a risk from someone drowning from downtime. You know what I mean? It's a crappy. I mean, it just feels dangerous. You already talked about how dangerous this undercut is. You fall out here and you don't pop up for 15 seconds. You think your life's going to be over. Someone might aspirate. But the other part of this rapid that I do not like is the anvil. Obviously, Ace talks about it in a lot of videos. So if you do go left in a raft, I think it puts your raft crew more susceptible for broken bones on the anvil. And the fact that you would have the anvil, someone hitting that, breaking a bone, and getting downtime after this, that could be a recipe. So I'm totally looking at this, like people are going to swim this. You know, I mean, this rapid is going to be rafted. And people are going to swim all the way from the top, all the way to the bottom. Most swims are going to happen somewhere around the bumper rock, or even, getting real sideways on these top waves. People get sideways on the top waves because they're thinking this is the plague, when you really can just square up on all three and square up on the right side. Swimmers fall out right here, so you get downtime and an undercut. There's a log underneath here, but at fall flow, this undercut, even for a body, historically, people just float right by. You don't catch a breath. You are literally underwater until you pop out of these tail waves. It's the suckiest. It's got to be, that's the thing. So, yeah, so it brings up the question. Like, if you're a guide, and where do you want to go? Do you just want to take this chute? You know what I mean? But yeah, that's the other thing. If you take this chute, you definitely have plenty of time to get to the right. But you do have to paddle more. So if you do take this chute, it's a lot placider. But heck yeah, get your gear and paddle early behind the massive hole, and then get your momentum back to the left. I think this chute probably is the safest. When I did it, I was just like, I was kind of bored because you take the chute, you don't have the thrill of knowing that, you're trying to avoid the massive holes, and there's a lot of commotion around here, and then there's a lot of commotion to line up for the bottom. The chute is kind of the easiest thing to do. All right, so people fall out on the swimmer's hole, directly above that slanted undercut. All right, so that's the close-up view of that. Well, yeah, they're doing good. So here is your V. This is where your V ends. This is your fluffy wave, and this is that kind of horseshoe. This is the high gradient. So you're not going to be able to just look at this V. It's going to be you'll have to look down into it, because this is a drop, and you already want to make sure you got your momentum. But this is classic. They're going to be just fine, because you're going to be sideways. If your boat's you got some momentum going, the side of your boat will kind of hit that V. That'll help you. And then honestly, these people are probably done. One more stroke, and this guide should be turning his boat the other way. And then you want to square up to this massive hole on this side right here, catch a piece of it, but with your angle going that way. And then, like I said, you're just so good for that bottom stuff. But a lot of what happens is, especially with these rafts, you'll get so much momentum going this way, then you got to get all the way back. And people don't. Like this line over here, a lot of people will just have to hit that hole at the bottom above the anvil. And that's fine. Just be ready to call a get down. All right. And it's, definitely more retentive on this left side. So right over the top, hell yeah, that's the most retentive. But even just on this very left side, you can hit that. And this whole right side is just, that's freedom. That's a good hit. All right, bumper rock. Left chute. Yeah, see how this left chute is backed up by a rock? But ain't no thing. People just kind of plop right down. And I'm sure this won't get into the way. But just know, it's just good to know that this chute, you just can't kind of go anywhere. It's not just a I don't know. It's just good to know that it's backed up by this huge rock. That's crazy. At low flow, it looks real gnarly. You wouldn't want to, like, as a kayak that's taking this chute, yeah, this rock comes into play. Holy Toledo. Because this chute is a little retentive. So kayakers will drop this chute and then get stuck and then shoot. Because it's backed up by, see how this is backed up by a rock? So you have to get up and over that gradient. So it like keeper holes, like the nastiest features in a river are a pour over backed up by a rock. Now this one's pretty clean, but there are kayakers that will get stuck there, and then you kind of gotta wait a couple to get the hell out of there. So even this left chute, it isn't just like the golden ticket to avoid this massive pour over. And we're going to watch a kayaker just go right into this pour over. Ain't no thing. He's got hella skill. Doesn't seem like he did, but I was like, whoa, you got skill if you can just drop into that and ain't no thing. And then he just kind of, it just carried him to the right side and he got kicked out. But that was pretty cool to see. All right, drive left, find this marker. This is your green tongue. Left chute, bumper rock, more retentive on the left side, massive hole. Yeah, whoa. We're going the wrong direction. All right, so, and then the mini ejector rock. Hell yeah, do you see that? You know what I mean? So you can identify this fluffy wave, take a huge piece of it. So I would take a huge piece of it, and we'll see the different variations. But just know that you have this top wave hole. It's pretty easy to hit. But then this one is more of a kind of a sticky wave. And then you definitely have the right side of the massive pour over. Okay. The bottom, I guess. We should talk about that. Because you do have, in a small rafts, yeah, these waves right here, kayakers will surf them. You'll flip. You'll just flip and swim. So, yeah, square up to them. It's not too, if you get all the way to there and flip and swim, ain't no thing. But, like I said, if you flipped on these two holes, you're going to go under all the way to here. Same thing down here. All the water compresses. You have literally, look at this, you have all the water of the whole rapid of Insignificant, plus over here, converging. Look how narrow, because you have an eddy right here. So now does this make sense, like after I pointed out you're like it does? Because if you know about physics, the flow rate has to be the same. The flow rate, if I draw a line right through here, the flow rate going down this channel plus this channel, and if I draw a line right here, because you have eddy water right here, that stuff's coming upstream. You have an eddy right here and a huge boulder, no flow's going over there. If I draw a line right here, literally the entire flow, 3000 CFS, is going right through like a 2-foot window. So even in a kayak, like you just go, this is where it's the deepest hell moment. And it took me about 5 years to realize that, and about 2 seconds to say, oh yeah, you just draw a line to show you the flow rate difference. You draw a line right there, you got 3000 CFS. Is it at the surface? Hell no, hell no. You know what I mean? It's all subsurface. So if you're swimming around this corner, you're going to get 20 to 30 seconds max. Hopefully you just get the 7 seconds of death, and you pop up and you thought it was 30. But you could literally get 30 and hope to God. And so, yeah, that's the crazy thing about Insignificant. You could have the crappiest swim of your life, and all the boats are eddied out below this rock. So you ain't getting much help even through here. Hopefully you do. Hopefully you hang on to a kayak or hang on to something buoyant. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to have the double whammy of falling out at the top of Insignificant. But clients do. It happens all the time. You're like, what? You swam the entire rapid of Insignificant? And hopefully you don't have like the trifecta of swimming from top to bottom, getting 15 seconds of downtime here, and then getting 30 there. I think you would just quit life right over here. I think we all would. It would suck. But it's just good to know physics. You're just like, oh, I did not know that if I drew a line in the sand right there, 3000 CFS have to be going, and it can't go at the surface. It's all subsurface, and that's where my body's going. And life jackets do not bring you to the surface very well. Your body's basically neutrally buoyant. All right, so sorry to give you all the bad news. But slanted undercut, massive hole, bumper rock, anvil. It's just good to, anytime you get a picture. That's why I do these GAULEYs, because it's just like, okay, because we're going to be looking at a lot of point of view rafting and kayaking, and it's going to look totally different. We're not birds going down this rapid. We're just like right at water level. So you still, want to know kind of spatially where these things are. And I'm actually going to go back because we got to show one more thing. I shouldn't be going back this far, so apologize. We'll do that. Yeah. So and avoid this hole on the left side. We're going to be looking at more footage, and we're about ready to. We're not ready to get on with it, but hell yeah. So bumper rock, massive hole, anvil. This is your hole. This is your marker hole. So it's all right to hit the left of it. All right to hit the center of it. Just don't be if you miss this hole on the left, you're just getting a helicopter out of the GAULEY, because that anvil is so nasty. And this whole left side is just a sieve. You have the anvil and you got boulders over here. So you just, yeah, if you like helicopters, you'll see one that day. Okay, so at least for the love of God, hit the left side of this hole. And if you're over here, still drive right, you know what I mean? Don't just hit the left side of this hole and be complacent. If you're already way the hell over here, try like hell to actually get to the right side of this hole. Hit that hole on the right side. Hit the hole on the right side with left momentum, and then you'll just be good to go. But literally what you're trying to do is just keep people in the boat. So just friggin' call a get the hell down. Same thing on this. If you're already over here, like that's the thing about this Insignificant. It's about keeping people in the boat. That's why I don't like bumping off the bumper rock. If you are gonna bump off the bumper rock, again, call a hell no, get down. You know what I mean? Do not fall out. Call a get down 3 seconds before you just tag this rock and everyone just flies out. Same thing with this hole. If you're already over here and your crew and you didn't get dialed in, or you did something funky, you know what I mean, and you ain't getting back to the left, well, screw it. Call it get down, because if you hit this hole while people are paddling, you're gonna have 2 in the water. Okay. All right. So Insignificant, slanted rock, booyah, anvil. And see how this hole, you can hit any side of it except don't miss this hole. But it's a good marker. And hit the right side, be a fluffy. And you can just hit this tongue. I haven't talked about that, but that would be smart. Just hit this tongue with right to left momentum. You'd be even if you just hit this tongue. If you're on top of the water, this undercut does not come into play. You can go, do whatever you want. Don't paddle into it, though, and do a spin off of it. That's dumbass. Because if anyone falls out, hell yeah, they still get 10 seconds of downtime. And avoid this swimmer's hole. People fall out. All right, and that's directly above the undercut. This is silly. This is your 30 seconds of downtime. And for the love of God, if anyone hit this hole and then drifted this way, or just up against the face of this, that's why there's so much water going. At least this is still undercut, but you have enough flow that you do have, like, see this seam here? So you do have like calmer water that's not just jetting underneath it. At lower flow, summer GAULEY, this is such a hazard because you do have flow that goes just directly under. So even this seam right here is a buffer that you will go deep, but you're technically not going to go like in and under. But there is a log under there, and that is kind of sketchy because you could catch a piece of that and maybe get caught. But yeah, hell no. Go up against the face of this. Yeah, that's pretty insane. Okay, and then great surf waves, but these will tip you over. And like I said, holy Toledo, you don't want to swim that bottom part. Eddy access on the left for these surf waves. Hell yeah, you got 2 in a row. So even in a small raft, if you know how to paddle it, you should be able to catch these eddies and go play. All right, so this is the bottom part. And this is your top hole. This is your anvil. So I bet you that wasn't easily seen, but we've talked about it enough where your swimmer's hole is just right here. Your hole that's okay to hit, and see how down here you can't see that it's a hole because we're at kind of water view, and it looks like a hole should. It's a pour over. You got water going over a hump. So you can go directly over this hump. Actually, that's probably one of the better ones. Or go to the right side with left angle and then just hit the left side of this hole. Just drop here and then booyah. And then that'll be a good line. But if you do tag the left side of this, call it get down. And hopefully you got a little bit of momentum going to the right. Alright, so slanted undercut. There's the anvil. Hit the right side of this hole. But just this bottom hole don't get talked about enough. because a lot of people can't get to the right side. Only kayakers, because it takes them one stroke to get places. But there's so much inertia in these rafts, you know what I mean? Anyway, okay, so if you do hit on the left, drive hard right if you're able to, but screw the last minute driving hard right to do a last minute move. Just call it get down, because this will just eject people. All right, great surf waves at the bottom, eddy access on the left. And guess what? Yeah, if you're swimming, don't swim to the right. This whole rapid is, you don't want to be over here. Hell no, because then you'll get caught underneath, and then you get a lifetime of downtime. So obviously everything is swim to the left, especially at this bottom. If you fall out anywhere in the bottom, you got to just swim to the left shore. So that's your swimming. And you could swim to this eddy, because like I said, you don't want 3,000 CFS going through 2 feet of water. You'll go deep. Okay. All right, so now for some footage. Well, actually, we're gonna do footage last, but we're gonna take a look at some more Google Earth. Even though we're looking at Google Earth for hours, but that's all right. Let's say we had no footage, even just from the Google Earth. I could get you up to speed. Well, maybe not. No, you do need both, because the second you look from overhead to river view, everything just goes crazy where you can't see nothing. All right, but this is Google Earth now. So anyway, so you got your massive hole, you got your bumper rock, and the island. This island will come in handy of how to set up. These 2 rocks at the top are kind of your marker rocks, and I'm sure I mark everything. So marker for choosing entrance. Yeah, let's say you want to take the left chute. You know what I mean? You're going to be like a square with this island. I mean, you're basically, these 2 rocks at the top are going to be your markers anyway. But it's kind of interesting, because if you're doing the kayaker line over here, you're actually going to be kind of directly in line with that slanted undercut. But if you're going to take the left chute, you could be way over here for the left chute. Now, this river is susceptibly wide, if I'm using adjectives correctly. But yeah, you're literally going to be staring on the left side of this island. You know what I mean? So just even that, I like using that as markers. If I'm over here, it's going to look way different than if I'm a kayaker looking right here. But here's your 2 entrance rocks. Running classic right of hole line. Okay, yeah. So if you're going to run... Yeah, if you're just kind of running the classic line to the right side of this pour over, you got to get down here. Here's your V. So at some point we have to get into this area. How do we do that? We identify these 2 marker rocks. Here is this is a rock that juts out. This is very obvious. So as you float down the left side, this is kind of what the commercial trips do. You'll see this rock jutting out. The other thing that you'll see, well, to be submerged, but this is a huge shelf rock. And a big flat rock right behind the rock that juts out. This blocks, you can't go over here. You can't just get behind this jutted rock and go this way. So this kind of blocks how you get through here. And so you run just left. I think I put the arrow just a little bit. It's just right through here. But you do have, I think you drop right here. But you don't want, and this does feed you real fast to the right. So you don't want to get behind this and then get this way, because this rock right here, that will, somebody might just tip out of the boat. It'll stop your boat though. So you're going to be right here, and then, pump the brakes a little bit. Don't try to get to the right faster. But once you get by this sleeper, then you're just good to go. Then you're good to set up down this kind of placid water. You'll kind of just drop the seam. But you do have to get into this little area, because these are shallow rocks, where once you get to here, then you can start driving to the right if you want. The perfect line is actually the guide paddles a couple this way, gets all the way over here, basically to here, just real fast, and then just goes straight through here. Hits this one, and then hits the right side. And then he's got no momentum going to the right, so it just perfectly, you're perfectly good for the bottom. And, yep, there's your hit the top hole there, drive to the right. Yeah, you can, and then miss the massive hole on the right. I would just hit it. So you could bump off the bumper rock, but we've talked about that, the dangers of that. I don't know, but people do, you know what I mean? And then set an angle and drive left. So the left of hole line, Drive left, but not too early. So here's kind of this horseshoe drop, or kind of this whatever you call it, and then here is your V, but it'll be a drop into the V. You can't just be over here, not too early, and then you got sleepers right there. But then if you're over here, yeah, worry about the anvil, get back to the right. Here's your massive hole, get behind it. Don't just point it out and be like, hey, look at that hole. No, point at it, catch a piece of that left side, get behind it. You know what I mean? You got plenty of time to actually do the moves, like work early and often, and then get lined up for the perfect line at the bottom. All right, running the left chute. So we're going to watch some footage of, one, you can just go all the way to the south side. And it's kind of cool over here. Hell yeah, just because it's nice and calm. Hit this. You're going to be going, kind of just do this line through here. Now, what's going to trip you out is it's going to seem like you want to be right up against the island. But no, that is not the case. So even over here, no matter where you are, because there's another entrance through here to get to this chute, it'll just kind of feel like you're wanting to drop it there. So I'm just going to mention that. Feels like you want to drop it there, but no. It looks like you're going to drop it really close to the center of the river, which, yeah, because this all converges back together. See how, like, here's the tongue right here, and then if your raft was right here, and then here's the chute. You're almost in the same spot. But over here, there is a couple exposed boulders. They're still at the surface, but they kind of make this little, like maybe a little triangle. And that can be a nice little marker. Take a look at that. So there's your left chute. Obviously backed up by this rock. That rock's significant. You know what I mean? All right, running the left chute. This is the maze entrance. So you're going to run the classic left of these boulders. Look for this jutted rock, but instead of kind of dropping right through here, which is kind of the classic thing to do, look for this, but just keep going. So you're going to do this. See right here? Here's your entrance. Just keep. So once you go to the left side of these rocks, see this juttedness, but then just keep going. And so yeah, be looking for the jutted out rock. And instead of doing the classic line to get down here, see, because then this makes sense. Here is like all these boulders are separating this chute from the classic line. So there's kind of like a rib of boulders in here. And then right here is a fairly, it's not obvious, but there is a little triangle of boulders. So obviously you can't be over here and then drop back down. Okay, so yeah, you just keep going straight. And then you got a couple options. You can either kind of just work your way directly to the chute, or, if you went straight, then you could actually go left and get way back out into that outside. But mainly people will just go here and then kind of work their way. It feels more natural. But because they're not very far on the outside right here, that there is an optical illusion that feels like you need to be way over here, but you don't. And so you're going to identify that chute, identify those boulders. We're going to watch a lot of footage if you want to stick around for that. Anyway, yeah, we're trying just long format videos. Yeah, I don't know. Even if we spend 2 hours on Insignificant, it'll just be burned into your brain, and you'll know everything possible about it. Massive undercut, bumper rock. There's your island. Yeah, your island can be a marker for your entrance. I always like that on the GAULEY. All right, there's your left chute. It is backed up by a rock, just to let you know, but puts you safely to the left side of this undercut. But if you do take the left chute, hell yeah. Identify this, I'm sorry, I called this an undercut. Identify this massive pour over. After you go by it, get behind it, and then you're just set for hitting the left side of this hole, avoiding the hole, and just getting momentum back to the left. All right, there's your green tongue, and this is going to be your marker for running the right line and left line. Don't hit the swimmer's hole. Hell no. The anvil, and then you got the hole. Hit the right side of that if you're going to hit it. You don't have to, but that's probably a classic way to do it. In a 14-foot raft. Kayaks, you just kind of go around it. You don't have to hit that hole at all. But yeah, then drive left to the slanted undercut. 2 surf waves at the bottom. This is a very good view of actual 2 of them. And this bottom one, yeah, this in some of these smaller rafts, if you're a little bit sideways, you might get surfed on it. They're surf waves. And then you flip over and you swim. All right, so there's just a kind of a close-up So swimmer's hole, anvil, right side of that hole. Or just left side, but I'd call it get down instead of, you know, drive hard, but then call it get down. Then drive left, 2 surf waves. All right, so here's your bottom. So don't hit that hole. There's your anvil, right side of that hole. Drive left, 2 surf waves. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if you got a group, I would put someone here. No one wants to swim right here. 30 seconds of downtime, that'd be insane. So yeah, if people, yeah, pop someone in there to pick up the swimmers. So that's a good safety measure, because this is your eddy. You might be able to eddy in here too a little bit. But yeah, and you don't want anyone going against the face of that. That's an undercut. Holy Toledo. Yeah, that's the crazy thing, is that you're going to avoid that, swim away from it, but the second you do, you're going to get 30 seconds of downtime. Holy hell. All right, and then you do have a left safety eddy, but you ain't picking people up until they pop up. So this one's not that good. This one's real good if you're going to, I don't know, you do you. All right, so that's it. Now we're going to do some next rapids, our Screaming S-turn, pick a slot, iron curtain. We'll see how many of these, I mean, we have like over 20. You know what I mean? So we'll see how long this video gets, but that was the overhead. That was the chalk talk for Insignificant. And now we're going to get point of view, which you have to have. You have to get down at water level and then identify all those features. So we identified them from the bird's eye. Now we're going to take water level, and hopefully you can start identifying to be like, oh, I kind of see where he's talking about that horseshoe, that drop, that kind of, there's still green water. I guess I still see green water. And yes, there's not really a tongue, but there is kind of a drop, and then there is a tongue, kind of, yep, and then you go left or right. Got the massive pour over. The bottom, sure, you got a hole to hit, and yeah, if you're over on the right side, hell no, that swimmer's hole sucks, but yes, you do have that hole above the anvil, and you can hit it, just call it get down, so we're going to look at that. All right, and if you just wanted the chalk talk, thanks for joining me, but hell yeah, let's get some footage. Alright, hell yeah. Now we're going to watch our first run down Insignificant. And this is a kayaker. I said I was going to do the perfect run, but this is actually the perfect run.
Do we know the line, or is there not one?
Yeah, because that's a story, you know what I mean? And we're going to mute it just for a second. Right. But yeah, so you just have all these kayakers. None of them really know the line. And it's just, it gets to be a show. I'm gonna fast forward to right here. Okay, so we're gonna go back to our Google Earth now. Here's this ledge, and then here is kind of the classic line leads you to this little area. So there is green water. So we'll go back here. See, we have all this green water before this first ledge, and you have the chute is over here. The left chute is over here. And just for a marker, you have these two big boulders on the right side. So we can take a look at that. So these 2 boulders kind of mark this first ledge drop. And this ledge has that V. And essentially, these kayakers just go right down the middle and go right into the hole. So we're going to watch that right now. Alright, so here's your V. And they just kind of go straight. And where you're going to lead? You're going to lead right into this hole. And 3 of them get stuck. The first one pops out pretty easy. This kayaker with the GoPro, he pops out. Now this kayaker in the red, his skirt imploded. His skirt popped off. So he actually pulls himself out, which is pretty amazing because he's out right now. And I think he gets one more look, but he's almost in the water. So he's basically just submerged, you know what I mean? His whole boat's full of water. He definitely swims, so we're just going to watch this all the way through. And it's pretty classic finish, but actually I'm going to go back, because the things of consideration on this lower part, here's our second ledge that I was talking about, and here's the hole on the left, and here's swimmer's hole on the right. But because they all just went into the massive pour over, they're just floating down like the perfect. So here's your hole on the left. Yeah, you could tag that in a raft. You probably wouldn't want to tag it in a kayak. And here's your swimmer's hole on the right. And then here's your V. And they just kind of float right down the middle. So let's say all of them swam. if you hit that massive pour over and swim from it, it gives you probably the easiest swim through Insignificant. Okay, that's kind of all I'm getting at.
Sorry, Pete.
Yep, and yeah, a little sorry there for all dropping in on the same hole. But hell yeah, they got their buddies swimming. You know what I mean? So yeah, his skirt imploded and he had to swim this. Now, like I said, the fact that he was in that massive pour over, that actually sets you up for the perfect swim. You know what I mean? You're not over on the right side near that undercut. You're not over on the left near that hole in the anvil. And hell yeah. So that's why I put this in here, because it literally kind of is the perfect run. Now, I'm going to be talking about this area quite a bit. Because this is where you get your setup. Most rafts will mark off this. We've talked about this, and we'll see it some footage. But you're just going to drift in here, and then you got these kind of two alleys. This alley right here, and then this alley right here to actually get your momentum if you want it. You know what I mean? We're going to take a look at a lot of boats. Grab a couple strokes here, pop out right here, grab a couple more, and then work their way, figure out where they need to be. We're going to look at the classic right line first, which is essentially tagging this wave, maybe catching a piece of this, but definitely catching a piece of this right hole, because we're going to look at the perfect line. And it's not very good footage, but hell yeah. So again, here's your entrance. This is that shelf rock, and we'll just talk our way through this. We got some. Here, let's turn the music off, because we really just want to focus on where these guys are. So essentially, we're going to go back, because like right here, like I said, you have your corridor. They're going to start paddling. So you have like this little corridor right through here to grab, like, so right now you can grab a couple strokes if you want. And then you have to drop out right here. Okay, booyah. So this is kind of the area like that I was talking about. This is that green area, the flat area before kind of that first drop. Here's your two rocks, here's your bumper rock. And the thing about this raft does the perfect line is they really drive through this area to get over here faster, and then they line up straight with the wave down here. They hit the first one, and then they hit the right side of the massive hole. So now they're lined up. They're going to hit this first wave nice and square, and then kind of crap piece that second wave. So they angled their boat back, so this whole thing, they're going to kind of start squaring up to this first one. Now they're headed downstream past the second hole, and then they're aiming left at the massive pour-over, and they're hitting the massive pour-over on the left side. So again, this is the perfect line. Get over here fast, hit this top wave kind of straight, catch a piece of the right, and then kind of aim back towards that massive pour-over, and then drive through it. Now they can just stop paddling, because they're in the perfect spot. They didn't carry all the momentum on that right side, because here's your swimmer's hole, which usually people carry all their momentum over here. And we're going to back up. Here's the hole you want to avoid also if you're running the left line. We'll look at this. But they're to the left of this hole. Are they right of that hole? Yes, they're just perfect right down the middle. And again, this hole is okay to hit. And it's better to hit on this right side, but if you hit it center or the left side, just call it get down. And here's your swimmer's hole right there. And they're nowhere near there. So that's pretty amazing. And it all started kind of up here. They used this corridor, grab a couple strokes. Now we're gonna go back to our Google Earth. They're using this corridor to grab a couple strokes. They're using this to actually get this direction laterally, and then straighten out, hit this top wave, catch a piece of this, catch the right tube on this, but basically aim back at the massive pour over, because you're already on this right side. This right side is the weaker side. It's just a wave hit. Right here is the most prominent part of this boulder, where you have the highest pour over. It's a vertical drop. It's the stickiest right there. And this is also eddy. See how you have a little bit darker current? So there is a current line going off here, and then for sure here. But this whole hole acts as also like an eddy. So if you drop in right there, your momentum's going to stop like the kayaks, and you're just going to get sucked in. And then those kayaks, you feed out this right side pretty easily. And the guy in the red kayak, well, he just fed out because his boat was full of water. All right, so we can look at this green area also. Now this is already, so that boat kind of came in through here, and he actually powered through this green area just a little bit, and then straightened out, and then tagged this wave, hit a little piece of this, and then squared up on that wave. So again, here's this green area. You're coming through. Here's your corridor. That raft took real quick, took another couple strokes this way, and then straightened out, hit this wave, and then turned back and hit this over here. So I just think that was really heads up to, because if you're just drifting in, you're gonna catch more piece of that. So let's take a look at the perfect line again. This is Dave Bassage. He works for Ace. I think he works for Class 6. But hell yeah. Oh yeah, we don't need music. But essentially, he's in this. So where is he? He is right here. So he's in this first corridor. I'll say this first corridor, and then I'll say when he's in the second corridor, and then I'll say when he's straightened out, he hits this, and then he actually turns back for the hole, I think. So I think he does it basically just the same. He gets quite a bit of momentum. So he's in that first corridor, just drifting through. Now he's in that second corridor. And
I'll tell you what, it's like a Deep Purple concert
takes a couple
out
strokes,
here.
gets his
There's
momentum
smoke
there.
on the water and fire in Dave's eyes.
Oh, never mind. He's way up there. So he's just kind of. So the second he starts paddling, he's probably in that first little kind of like corridor.
I'll tell you what, it's like a Deep Purple concert out here. There's smoke on the water
now this is that green area I was talking about. He grabs a couple more strokes.
There's smoke on the water and fire.
Here's kind of the first wave. Here's the first hole. And then he turns back. Angles at the, see how he angles back at the massive pour over? See, I just think people are afraid of this pour over because they don't know its weakness on that right side. And I apologize. We're just going to watch this all the way
I'll
through.
tell you what, it's like a Deep Purple concert out here. There's smoke on the water and fire.
He's lining up for this first wave hit. It does have a top wave, and then you drop in.
Putting the hay
that's pretty decent. That first wave, that first big wave hit's pretty decent. And then, so let's take a look at it again. This first wave kind of has an up and over. So yeah, this is a marker wave right there. And we'll look at some footage, because if we actually go back to this one, this is your marker wave. So he goes up and over this. Now, depending on the exact flow of the upper, this might be a little glacier. Kind of in this footage, just from this side, it looks a little bit glassy. But you're also you're seeing the footage from upstream. So yeah, you're tagging that wave. That wave is this wave, and essentially that raft comes in, tags this wave, tags the meat of this hole. So you got the three holes. You got this hole. And then you got this hole is your second hole, and then turns and then squares up to this massive pour over. So we can go back to our, our views right here. Hell yeah. So here's your first hole. And then see this glassy wave? See, in this footage, it's just a glassy wave. You know what I mean? But it is peaking. And so you would hit this, drive into here, and then you're just kind of set. You catch a piece of this, but then turn back and hit this pour over. Because what a lot of people do, well, they'll hit this, just keep going, and then tag this one, and then maybe do a spin. Sometimes that helps, but they'll just keep friggin' going. And what happens to the last footage we'll see is they do pretty good. They tag this. They don't get much of this. Maybe they do, but then they tag this with a slight angle to the right, and because this wave is already at a 45-degree angle, it just hooks their boat in and pushes them towards this direction. So by the end of it, they're already over here, and worse, they missed the bumper rock, so now they're over here. So look at the difference. I mean, I know the streamlines are kind of going this direction, so it's a little bit exaggerated to say a boat's over here compared to just being in the middle of your screen. But like the two boats that we're seeing, they're hitting that the best way you can do this, kind of squaring up. Get over here first, drop in, get some momentum, but now you're kind of squared to this one, and then you're turning back already, and then driving into this pile on this weaker kind of angled. It's still a big hole punch, but hell yeah, that's what you signed up for. Let's hit some holes, you know what I mean? It's a very runnable hole. And the second you do that, the nose of your boat breaks out here, and you're already in this easy current. One stroke on Dave Bassage's boat, and they're just perfect, you know what I mean? And then you're just down here, down this glass. Compared to being over here, like stuck in this eddy, and then really having that undercut down here come into play. All right, so let's watch Dave Bassage again, and it's interesting to watch some footage from downstream. But after we kind of know what's going on, we kind of understand.
Coming right down the middle,
crushing in. Past the second wave right there, and then drive angle towards that massive pour, and that was it. And a couple of strokes. You know what I mean? And they can just kind of relax. A little paddle twirl. He knows what the hell's going on. And here's your swimmer's hole. So see how fast that is? Could you imagine if you're just like, if your game plan as a GAULEY guide is just to get, where's the bumper rock, for God's sake? You know what I mean? So here's the whole thing. Dropping in the first hole, crush it, miss the second hole, and then angle at the massive pour over. And then the bumper rock's right here.
That's what we like
to see. Let's say you were just over here. So that's the difference. So let's say now you're kind of catch some of the seam. You're almost catching the eddy behind the bumper rock. Like we turned on captioning. It's just a huge difference. So now, because we're gonna see that boat, and they basically kind of just go sideways all the way down here, and you're hitting the swimmer's hole, and it's a real crappy ledge. People fall out, and then they go for the swim of their life, you know what I mean, when you're almost home free. So the take-home point is do not treat so this massive pour over, treat it like the runnable hit. Don't treat it like it's something to be avoided. Add your adjective there. Use that massive pour over on that right side. Hit it, square up to it. It's the best hit. And it puts all your clients in the safest position. Now, if someone pops out of that massive pour over, it's actually a who cares, because they're actually taking the easiest swimmable line. And this footage cuts out basically right through there. Oh, yeah. Perfect. So I'm just going to go back a couple. Because they just perfectly kind of crush. I mean, they're perfect. I mean, then you finish with catching just a piece, the right-hand piece of this bottom hole. If you catch the center or this left side, call it get down, because it's real steep and chunky. But if you catch that, hell yeah. So if you catch exactly what they just caught, you know what I mean? It just puts you just so classic for the undercut. Now here is like some footage just going real slow.
All right, we've got some ace raptors working their way in the top of this thing here.
So essentially, here's your first corridor. Once he drops into here, here's kind of like here's your green room. You only got like a couple more strokes. Here's this marker top wave right here. Here's the hole. So you don't have much, and they don't paddle at all. You know what I mean?
Nick and his crew.
And the second, so here's your top marker wave. So this is the one that you can just come up and square up to. You could be square. They're going to hit it on the left side of it, the screen's right side. And so obviously they're going to get more of the massive pour. But I'm just showing you this because it's like
and these guys are lining up to go to the right side of that pour over.
They hit that first wave, a little bit of angle, then square up.
Squaring up on that thing, catching the right side of it.
Because they were so into that massive pour, they made that massive pour over look tiny. You know what I mean? Because you're on this, you're on the right side of it. It's the weaker side.
Squaring up on that.
As long as you do not go over this rock, you don't want any piece of this, because this will slow your boat down, and the guide will go flying. Everyone will go flying. But as long as you're to the right side of this, what causes this massive pour over is this really protruding rock. Then you're just
catching the right side of it. That's
yeah. Let's watch that whole.
Their way in the left of that undercut.
Real slow.
All right, we've got some ace raptors working their way in the top of this thing here.
But still,
Nick and his crew.
It's just kind of a straight.
And these guys are lining up to go to the right side of that pour over.
The perfect setup.
Way to go. Squaring up on that thing, catching the right side of it. That's good to do.
Who cares? It's actually the easier
way to go.
Compared to bumping off the bumper rock. You bump off the bumper rock and have someone fall out, well, that sucks.
Oh, folks,
and then let's look at something else. Now, Yeah, so this is it. This is the one where you just have too much momentum. Now, I'm a huge fan of momentum. Like, you have this corridor, you know what I mean? The first and second corridor to you can get any lateral momentum you want to the right, but you don't need it. That's the take home.
Raptors working their way down the top of Insignificant here.
Right? So there's the first wave.
Lots of big stuff there. A couple big waves.
This is the massive hole. This is the steepest part of it. I know this footage ain't that good, but because they hit the
lots of big
right side of the massive hole, still with a little bit of angle to the right. Now, it looks like they should be totally good, but no, they hit it with a little bit angle to the right, and then whoop, it just kind of surfs and scoots them farther
the right side of that pour-over hydraulic.
And then they get right behind the bumper. I mean, they're basically eddied out behind the bumper.
Tough when you miss that thing, you really get pushed over here to the right.
What are you going to do over there?
Kind of puts you in a little bit of a skip.
So here's your nasty ledge. Now, they just totally luck out that no one fell out. And if someone falls out, it's the GAULEY. You know what I mean? Whatever. Plenty of people have swam Insignificant, but it's just a crappier swim. You might get underneath the undercut. It's just more dangerous for sure.
Scary situation here. Kind of a jarring ledge there. A lot of times someone will pop out right there, and that is definitely not a good spot.
Maybe going sideways.
We got that up there. A lot of scary situation here. Kind of a jarring ledge there. A lot of times someone will pop out right there, and that is definitely not a good spot.
And it all starts at that setup.
Up there, working their way down the top of it, downstream. Looking good. Raptors working their way down the top of Insignificant here.
Still to the right.
Lots of big stuff there. A couple big waves.
There's the massive pour over. So I would just say, hell yeah, turn into that pour over and then treat it like an eddy. Treat this massive pour over on here as like, this is where you work. You know what I mean? Early and often. Set up kind of square, and then turn into that pour over, weaker right side, so then you can kind of capture the eddy behind it.
And that is the right side of that pour over hydraulic.
Instead of
sliding just behind the bumper rock.
You know,
it's tough when you miss that thing, you really get pushed over here to the right.
Alright, so that's looking at the classic right line. And guess what? Well, that's kind of a little video for that. We're gonna watch some other footage, so stick with me. All right. Oh hell yeah! All right, welcome back. We got some more footage, and well, we got like one more where it's like a camera on shore. So this is gonna be pointing out that right line. And even if you have too much momentum going right, you still have that second hole, you know what I mean, to play off of. And what this raft's going to do is get momentum over that first wave, that first hole, and they're going to punch that second hole, and it's going to slow them down. And then they're going to work hard to get back to the middle, and they do a good job. So let's see their effort.
I like to see that style coming through a Class 5, Rabbit.
Alright, we're going to turn off the volume just so we can pay attention to what this raft's doing. So it's getting some momentum. It's going to plug that first hole right there. It's got momentum, and that second hole, it hits that second hole sideways right there. That kind of, well, I don't know what it does, but they get a little bump off bump rock, and then they're kind of paddling back to the center. Now what we're going to focus on, yeah, okay, capturing some angles, because right there they hit a little bit of the swimmer's hole. The swimmer's hole is right here, but not too bad, and I don't think this footage actually shows them going through. So we're just going to be done with that. And hell yeah, this says right line, too much mo, and then we do hit a swimmer. Okay, so this is kind of interesting. And we finally got our first point of view. And the other thing I want to show is the entrance. You want to know how to do this. So you got these two rocks right here. And hell yeah, and we'll just kind of speed this up. But yeah, these are your marker rocks. And then the next thing you're going to be looking for is this projected rock right there. That rock that just kind of sticks out. I'm sure it's called like Otter Rock or something. Hey, oh yeah, it looked like an otter. You know, maybe I'm just hallucinating. Oh, look at that little eye and little mouth. You know what I mean? Give it some food when you go by. You know, give it a little treat. But anyway, don't throw food in the GAULEY. Anyway, so what this is going to indicate? Oh, look at that, a little eye. Yeah, it's just a friendly little otter rock. But behind this is this shelf. You almost have like a huge flat submerged boulder that you can't paddle that way. And if you're over here, you can't paddle back this way. So this kind of sets up, and you just have to be just to the left side, just this little thing of white. But all the boats have to go right by this. So you just tuck in right here. Now, do not get a lot of right momentum, because this boulder right there, that's gonna, I was gonna say, we'll just say mess you up. And they do a good job. Because that submerged boulder right there. And this thing kind of feeds left to right, so we'll just kind of see it at normal speed, because here's the whole line. So yeah, this is how slow it is. And it's kind of floating through here, and it's shallow right there, but don't get confused. This thing will hang you up right there. Just to the left of it, you have this little alley. And then right here, this is what I'm talking about. This is your last kind of green water. Here's your 2 rocks on the other side, and then here's your left chute over there, and then here's your green tongue right here. Here's your first hole, and then so again, we've already looked at that about 1,000 times. So we're going to run the right line. We're going to punch that first wave, first hole, punch the second one. Okay, now we should be angling back towards the massive pour-over, but no, we just kind of bump off this, how dumb is that? You want to lose a couple people? Yeah, that's what we're going for there. So I don't get the whole bump off the rock, because now you're just down this side, and look at this, you're just going to lose a swimmer right here. But they just totally tag swimmer's hole. So this thing is just notorious for just dumping out people, and it couldn't dump you out in the worst spot. I mean, look at this. You're not going to probably die, but you're going to get downtime of your life, because you're just over here, and you're going to go just underneath the current, and you ain't popping up until the tail waves. And you're way the hell over on the undercut. So let's take a look at that one again. So here's the setup. You're coming through here. So what did they do wrong? Well, they're just getting so much momentum to the right. Well, it's fine to get some right momentum. I mean, right here you should be turning back towards this massive pour-over. So, I mean, you want to get a piece of this thing. It's a normal hit. On this right side, this is a weak side. It's got current behind it. You go plug it, it's going to take your boat through. Where this has no current behind it, you plug this right over the top, well, you're just going to stop. It's an eddy behind it. Your literally boat's going to stop. That's the difference. Should we take a look at that just one more time? Can we identify, like, this is your hull? So let's get a little closer view. So this is your hull. You have current going, like, see this? This is actually moving current, where, like, directly underneath, it gets a little darker. This ain't, you know what I mean? But it is. It's the most stopping right there. But if you hit this right side, ain't no thing. All right, so let's take a look one more time. You should just hit this. Now turn your boat towards that massive pour-over, and then you're just in the right spot. Don't be paddling over the bumper rock and nailing it. That guy almost fell. Okay, so I think we get it. Let's move on to our next one. Hell yeah, and we just have tons of them. So anyway, this says, 15 seconds of downtime. This is the right line. They're not square on the hole. They hit swimmer's rock, and the guy gets 15 seconds. So this is crazy. We're going to speed this up, because we're identifying these 2 boulders. We're identifying where this otter rock is. Hell yeah. We're going to identify where this flat thing is right here. Not too much momentum to the right, like I said, because you're going to nail this rock. There's an intolerable guide we're walking in front of you. Now we don't, but we will. Because he just hits everything. And he claims that it's their fault. Okay, it's your fault. Alright, so same thing. Now here, like I said, here's your V. And then this is, once you break out here, you can get this way as far as you want. And we'll take a look at that in a second. But basically, here's your wave right here. But you do have like a little mini dildo. I don't know. It ain't going to do it. But it's submerged rock right here. You don't want to hit that thing. So you're like, basically you have to be to the left of this. But we're going to actually take one footage. Probably the next one we're going to see is a boat. Yeah, they just charge over here. And it's actually probably the easiest line. Just right down here. And then get back. But anyway, okay. Let's watch this off. And yeah, they're going to charge on this wave. They're still angling towards the... Well, now they're pretty good. Yeah, they hit a piece of that. But see how they hit a piece of it at like an angle? You know what I mean? We were talking about that. Like, I mean, it don't matter if you catch a piece of that right side of that massive coral. Just turn your boat. Pretend like you're trying to catch the eddy behind you. So your boat right now should be at least square. Or with a left-hand angle. It has a right-hand angle. And you're actually more likely... See how it tipped? Is because this the wave on this right side is a lateral. It's a 45-degree angle. You put your boat at a 45 this way, you know, that guy's gonna try to tip out. See that guy? He's like, whoa, and then it just makes your boat go over here. And but we'll listen on this one because the guy does pretty good. He calls it. The guide calls like a right... He tries to get his boat back to go in the right direction, but he doesn't use enough momentum. I thought he was going to be good, but he wasn't, and he drops a swimmer, and the swimmer almost literally drowns.
Right side forward one.
Yeah, that's fair.
Right side again.
That's fair.
All together, 4-3.
But now he's just going like straight downstream.
Everybody go.
And yeah, now he's freaking out. Because there you go, you hit swimmer's rock, that guy pops out. We don't see him for 15 seconds. You know what I mean? Holy he gets the downtime of his life. Thank God he knows how to hold his breath for 15 seconds. Oh, he might have caught a breath through there.
Hey!
Okay, yeah. He is just freaking out. I love it.
Hey!
But we gotta go back because it is hilarious. See right there, he might have caught a breath, but let's go frame by frame. Okay, so he did catch a breath right there, but that might be the first time. We just don't see him. He might have popped up a few times, but it was 15 seconds between he fell in and then he made that weird noise. Yep, that's the noise of, holy crap, I don't want to do this. But anyway, we're joking, but hell yeah, no, I'm like, literally, I mean, you're putting your customers in a crap position for a swim, you know what I mean? And you don't really need to. So, okay, this could be the easiest line, even though this guy's real fun, and he's, probably doesn't know what he's doing. You know, private boat. And he makes it sound real fun. And we're gonna... I just want him to talk. Because he's real fun sounding. Come on. Alright, so there's the otter thing. And, let's see if he gets messed up. Too much right momentum. Oh, yeah, he's gonna... yeah, see how that right momentum?
Take break.
But he's like, ain't no thing. I'm going to the right of that. Look, nope, he hits it, but he don't care.
Back paddle.
Back paddle. He loves it. Take
a break.
Perfect guide.
Back paddle.
Is like totally not me. Perfect guide is
Break,
just
hold on.
not me. I'd be screaming at you.
Back paddle.
No, I'm joking.
Take a break.
Okay, but that whole thing, what the hell are we even talking about? So here's this green area, and here's like, okay, we got the rocks, and let's go back because like we said, this is that first kind of drop. You have a green area above it. So here's the green area above it. We've identified the V. Here's the big old wave. The first wave hit, if you're going to hit the right line, second wave, and then the massive hole. Here's your seam of submerged boulders. If you're going to do the left line, you have to be patient until you're basically at the bottom of this V to drive left. Take a couple paddle strokes, and you'll be by the massive hole. But anyway, so here's your flat little boulder, and then, you know, he got a little bit right, and then he hung up on this. And then he gets over here, and then he back paddles. So this whole area right here, like the second you get into this area, you can get as right as you want. We saw the perfect line. Hell yeah, they took like 2 strokes this way. Dave Bassage, 2 strokes this way right away. Turn your boat and then just line it up. Have a good time. Don't even get any momentum towards the right, towards this bumper. That's dumb. Like, and then turn back towards this massive pour over. But this boat kind of does a different thing. And we said you had to be, there's a little dildo rock right there. You have to hit kind of this hole on the left side of it, basically. Go up and over this wave and then tag this hole. But he actually just works his way to the right side of this little mini dildo rock, little sleeper rock. And then he's just going down this right side. And it's actually the perfect way to do it. What I would do is go down this right side, hit this hole, but then aim back instantly towards the middle. He doesn't. He's just having a good time and hitting the bumper rock. So let's go back and watch, just because he's a good soul. Hell yeah. So yeah, let's see him get hung up on that thing. So yeah. But again, yeah. So here. All right. Let's see what he does. Kind of gets hung up on this submerged sleeper.
Take a break.
That I said you don't want to get a 14-foot boat stuck right there. That'd be dumb. But he takes advantage, and then he's going way over to the right side. And he's using this seam. So this is the green area, and you can use this to get as far right as you want. And he does. He's just like, hell yeah, we're just side surfing this rock garden, and then booyah. So here's your first wave. Here's the top wave. Here's your first hole. Second hole, and then massive hole, and then here's your little dildo rock. He just goes to the right side of it. So this rock kind of gets you hung up, but he's like, ain't no thing. He's totally to the right side of that rock. See, I mean, this rock kind of prevents you from wanting to go farther over. You can't just go over this rock every time. If someone's gonna pop out, but you can go to the left side of it, and this guy shows you can go to the right side of it. So that's pretty cool. Alright, so there's that rock right there, and he just goes right to the right side of it. And then this hole, I don't know why he back paddles into that hole. He's just probably being like, there's a massive pour over somewhere. He's probably just like, I've heard of it. I dreamt about it last night. Look at that. That boat's just crushing it. They're way over there. But he's still back paddling away from some unnecessary hazard in the middle of the river. But anyway, so yeah. So he back paddles there and he hits the bumper rock. So let's watch this whole thing again.
Back paddle.
But this is a legit line. If I want to R1 over here, I just go way the hell over here, drop to the right of the mini dildo,
There's the pour over.
drop into this kind of wave, and then this is your second hole right here. Charge the second hole, and then
Back paddle. All forward.
oh, I love his voice cracking.
Hold on.
Oh.
Yahoo! All forward.
And that was a pretty good bump. That was a pretty good bump because, so here's Swimmer's Hole. He's actually nowhere near Swimmer's Hole, but he has a tiny boat. This ain't a 14-foot. This ain't an 18-foot, commercial raft. So your job's real easy.
Keep going.
And it's just straight down the middle.
Keep going.
So I wanted to, yeah, it is great.
Going. Keep going. Here's a hit. Woo! Yeah! Oh yeah!
Hell yeah! Look at that, smiles all around. You know what I mean? You don't have to be a good guide to show someone the best day of your life. You know what I mean? And no, we're just joking around because yeah, the guy's plenty good. But obviously he's not textbooking it down the river. He's not going A-type, but he's definitely showing people a real good time, and that's what it's about. Do you want to see that crazy? You want to see the intolerable guy? Let's just put him back to back. I don't know where I was over here, but this is the intolerable.
Pure wilderness, All right, guys, so be ready for any.
Even his first comment's so dumb.
But it is a good-looking place, but kind of an eyesore after you're used to seeing just pure wilderness,
I don't know.
All right, guys, so be ready for anything. I might call it back left, I might call it back right. If we go down through this rapid backwards, that is okay. Don't freak out on me, though. I will need you to paddle, and I will need you to paddle effectively.
Yes, it's already too high expectations. It's just like, I'm a bad guide, and it's all your fault. That's basically,
All right, guys, you ready for this?
No, and I'm just joking here. I'm just joking because I joke because I'm a terrible guide too. I'm a great guide and a terrible guide all in the same day. That's why I do like video, because yeah, you can look at me guiding some of my relatives down some of the river, my old footage, and I'm just screaming at them, and it's totally unnecessary. You know what I mean? And we're all trying to be better at what we do. All right, here we go. But he gets hung up for sure. He gets way too far right. He doesn't.
Hard, go!
Yeah, go.
Stop! All back!
Yeah,
all back!
See, yeah, he hits this little rock and he doesn't realize it. He probably is blaming it on them.
Stop! Little bump! That's all right. Let's go back left. Back left.
See, we're just in the easy peasy, and that is where don't make it all intense. You know what I mean? Have your different commands be like, yeah, all right, we're just getting it. Let's get the boat around. If we got the boat around, that'd be a little bit better. And then there's a time to bucket up Sally.
Stop! All forward.
See, but yeah, not at like right here. You're just still trying to get in your setup. Holy, you're not even going. You're not even facing the right direction. What is the rapid over there in those trees? I don't think so. All right.
Stop! It's got to be hard, guys.
Hard, yeah, because the rapids in the trees. Are you just hallucinating? Like that's
Back
what
left.
I do. Holy Toledo. So now obviously that didn't work, and we got to go just as hard the other direction, like literally the opposite direction.
Forward hard, go! Stop!
He hits the dildo rock. He goes right over that. Remember I said the dildo rocks
Forward
right there?
hard, go!
So it's just spatial. You know what I mean? That's why it's got to be a real hard time being a new guide. You get to see this rapid, like a glimpse of it every time. But like, let's say you get to see it 10 times a season, 20 times a season. Well, if you're not studying like I do, you don't even know where the hell you are in space and time. You know what I mean? So here's the wave. Here's your top wave. Here's your signature top. Drop over this and then hit this. Don't be too far right, because you're going to hit that little dildo. It's going to be uncomfortable.
Stop!
Now, okay, like I said, they're to the right of that dildo, kinda, you know what I mean? Like I said, all you gotta do is now turn back, you know what I mean? Turn left and then just hit this hole, but then square up to the... Try to catch a piece of this massive pour-over. You're already so far away. Let's see what they do.
Forward! Stop! Back left!
Alright, so no angle, you know what I mean? Just strong forward, you know what I mean? I guess to get over that hole, that's fine, that's fine.
Stop!
But just the yelling starts here. That's why I don't like it.
Forward! Stop! Back left! Back left! Hard forward! Stop! All back hard! All back harder! Back left hard! Stop! All forward! Lean in! Forward hard, go! Forward, go! Stop! Stop! All back! All back harder, gentlemen!
Yeah, this is where it gets... I mean,
Stop,
your life is already...
Back right!
Oh, God. Yeah, that's why I don't like
right.
it.
Stop! All forward! Stop! Little bump! Guys, you all need to pick it up. Forward! Watch the bump!
Alright, so, you know what I mean? No, let's take a look at that one. Because life is life, you know what I mean? Like, if you hit... Like, this bumper rock... I mean, like, obviously, technically you can do a lot of things. And then from a perspective, you know what I mean? Even if you went down and hit that swimmer's hole, like whatever. But, like even... And even for the guide, it's just like, yeah, trying to get away from this bumper rock, but...
Forward! Stop! Back left!
Like this back left, yeah, that's decent. Yeah, back left. But honestly, you'd actually maybe want to back right. You know what I mean? That's why I don't like this footage, is because, yeah, let's say something goes wrong. You know what I mean? Well, you call a command and it actually backfires, and then you have to kind of call the opposite of just exactly what you did. It's not the paddler's fault. Holy Toledo. I mean, like, I think from a guiding perspective, you should have 4 coolers of food right here, and you should be R1 in the boat. I mean, literally, I don't know. You know what I mean? I think what happens is you think that they're going to die if they don't paddle stronger and they need to paddle stronger, but I don't know, and it's your responsibility or something. I get that. I get that mindset, but at the end of the day, that's why you do get called that. Hey, I feel like I don't have a lot of power, but so get ready for like the get downs, because I actually want to keep you in the boat. You know what I mean? We're just more likely to flip today, and that's just life. You know what I mean? Yeah. So this goes
back
wrong.
Left, hard forward.
Yeah, the back left just hit their boat just right into that.
Stop. I'm back hard.
But now they're good. And hopefully the guide...
Oh, back harder! Back left!
And he missed a swimmer's hole. I mean, if you're to the left of the swimmer, you can just float through here, high and dry. You know what I mean? Like, he should be celebrating. Be like, whoa, you did it. You did it just right. You know what I mean? Look at this guy. He's just like leaning back. Now, it's not correct strokes. I mean, his arms are just straight out. The paddle isn't braced against anything. You know what I mean? But it's an athletic person. Look at that guy. Those are strong arms. So it's athletic people, you know what I mean?
Back left!
You know, using fanning strokes.
Hard forward! Stop!
Like, and this guy isn't one to teach anyone. Like, this attitude isn't a teaching attitude. You know what I mean? To be like, oh, yeah, let me put my right arm around your arm, and then put my left arm around your left arm. You know what I mean? This isn't a teaching guide. You know what I mean? It's like yeah, you got to find fun ways to actually show them how. And sometimes I do make jokes, just like, well, you know what I mean? I mean, I'm not gonna die today, but you guys might, because No, I'm just joking, but we need to work on our paddling, you know what I mean? You can use jokes like, I don't know, that's just my humor.
I'm back hard!
My God, thanks for joining me for this one, but we just got to delete that one. Just pretend like it don't exist. But thanks for following me through that, because it just shows you, like I said, there was a lot of things that guide was just fine. It's just like, you're just fine. Like, you're bouncing down the right side like every other guide, but you're just yelling more. And I think that's a good segue. Look at those smiles back to this guy. He's having the time of his life. Okay, so we are going to switch gears, and we're going to do the left line. And this is a kayak, because we really want to show the left line. This is pretty much the line that most y'all will be doing.
Alright,
and where the hell are we? You know what I mean? Kayaks get a start down the right side. Like that Otter Rock's way over here, you come in here. But like right here, this is where the rafts come through. And this is that seam where our funny guy, you know what I mean, he just drifted way the hell over here and then went down that right side, which I might do that. That'd be a fun way to go. Just try to do the easiest line through Insignificant. Just hit this wave and then work your way back to the middle. But this is this green area. I'll show you this every time. But hell yeah, rafts come in through here. Kayaks, they come in through here. Kayaks can come in through here, or even just God knows where. Kayaks can just filter through everywhere. But here's this green area, and this kayak's like somewhere just right in here, just straight in line. All right. And what this kayak's gonna do is, well, let's show it on this big screen. This kayak's going to hit the left side of this V, miss the hole, and then just easily float, miss the right side of this hole, and then go down. But the other marker, so now we're looking at this left side. So the marker on the right side is this top wave, this top hole, and the fact that this seam of rocks, you use these two alleys to get your momentum to the right if you want it. But like I said, the cool thing to do is get your momentum. You know, you want to get your paddle strokes going to actually get your boat up to speed, and then turn it downstream so your momentum is actually downstream. Like, you've already got your boat up to speed. you're just taking it straight downstream, hitting this first wave, maybe the right side of this, or hitting the second wave, maybe, but definitely aiming back. So this is your marker, this whole area to get over here early and then start driving forward. Now to do the left line, you're going to be popping out right through here, and then you're going to be turning your boat. So this seam of rocks, there is just like a seam of submerged boulders the entire way until you drop over this drop. See, we mentioned this drop. Until you drop over this, your glass goes away. There's no more green water, and you have and you do have a submerged boulder even on the left side of this. You can't tag the left side of this wave. You almost have to hit the bottom and then wait to power. You want to be hitting right there. You know what I mean? Don't hit up high. You will just hit some submerged boulders and then bounce right back into where you do not want to be. All right, let's show the easiest line through. So again, here's our two big boulders. Here's our left chute. Here's our bumper rock. And here, see if we have green water? We got all this. This is going to disappear up over this ledge. And then you'll have a V. And you'll just be just on the left side of it. And hardly any effort is needed for this kayaker. Alright, hell yeah. And then to get back, you want to avoid this hole. He does so, you know what I mean? And then you just go right by the big undercut. And then you got two waves here. If you're in a small raft, this second wave, this can dump your lunch. That wave right there, holy Toledo. Alright, but we're gonna... Alright. So we're gonna pause our way through here because yeah, you're here. You cannot paddle. You can't paddle up against these submerged boulders. There's another one right here. And then you can't identify kind of the end of this V until right here. So hell yeah, now you have this V. This is where the right line is. This is the drop into this V. And you want to put your boat right there. You know what I mean? Whether it's a raft or a kayak. And in a raft, hell yeah, you got from here to there to actually start driving left. And see how there's a submerged boulder right there? You don't tag that. So here's your V, and you want to put your boat just right there. This kayaker does. And there's the massive pour over. And even if you were a raft and you took one stroke that way, then you would square up and then hit this. Kayaks can kind of hit this too. It ain't no thing. It's not going to throw you into the hole. You might just have to sideways brace and pop up over it. This kayak easily misses it. And now down here, we're paddling back towards kind of this little tongue. The things to notice are, yeah, you have this hole. And this hole is okay to go over. So this hole is a marker. You better not be on the left side of this hole because then you're going to go up into this. This is the anvil. If you were swimming through here or, yeah, this would suck. If your boat hit the anvil, hold on. You know what I mean? People might flip an upstream flip. And then you might get flushed under. I don't know. It's just, you might break a bone on that thing. And so this is the hole where you can hit the right side. The right side, aim for it. And even this kayaker just easily misses the right side of this hole. In a raft, you kind of want to punch it because it keeps you locked into this line. Keeps your momentum from getting carried away too far away. Alright, hell yeah. Alright, and that's that video. And we're going to kind of work our way through. Oh yeah, this is just another one. I think that was the best one. But here's one where we're... so here's your green room. Here's your two boulders. Here's your... here's your drop. Here's your left chute right there because here's that significant drop. And like I said, you have two drops, two significant drops. Like this is a high gradient area, and then you have your V. Your other high gradient area is with these holes. You have this this middle hole, the swimmer's hole, and then this left side is a sieve with the anvil sticking out. All right, so this guy is in that green area. Here's your V, and does a really good job, and even tags a little bit of the pour over hole. So we're gonna watch that. Alright, so identifies the V, paddles left, at least a stroke, hits the left side of the hole, you know, ain't no thing. and then you don't have to do any work because this other hole is right there, and you're easily going to be to the right side of it. Perfect. And now you just paddle that way. So that's the ease of a kayak. But if you got a 14-foot raft full of a lot of people, you know, and then a couple stopping waves, look at that, stops the person. Okay, and let's get back to some rafts. All right, so this one is going to be classic. Oh, this is left of hole. So here's the things that can happen when you do the left of hole. All right, ooh, we got a right entrance. This is interesting. So now these two entrance rocks, we're going to the right of them. So let's actually watch this all the way through because we can kind of see what's happening. See, hey, there's our friend the otter. There's that rock that juts off. But like we said, you have this huge shelf that submerged shelf that you can't just paddle this way through it. But this gets pretty close to that otter rock. So the other raft line is just right there. So even though this started to the right, they all merge together. So here's that shelfy rock where all the rafts kind of bob down through here, and then you're just bobbing through here. So literally right here is where the rafts would converge, and then just markers. Hell yeah. There's our two boulders that indicate that high gradient drop all the way across the river, kind of that first substantial drop where hell yeah, it's game on. And then you got bumper rock. All right, so we're kind of keeping an eye on that because that can show you that hell yeah, this is our seam of our boulders. You know what? Our fun guy, he went the hell over there and just took kind of an easy line down, but still bumped off bumper rock and had a good time. But here's your green area, and then so this really sets you up. We're doing left lines now, so you're looking at this seam. So your tongue is going to be right over this drop. But anyway, once your green water disappears, you got your tongue and then drop to the left. But you can't drop early because you got all these submerged boulders down this kind of this seam right here. All right, submerged boulder right there. You can't hit that. There's your tongue. This guy gets really pretty close to all these submerged boulders, but we'll see. I'm going to back it up just a little bit. And he gets close to all these submerged boulders. Let's see how he does. Perfect. He waited just enough. And that's as early as you could get. But that's crazy because sorry for doing this to you. But okay, we're doing it again. But yeah, this is as early as you can get. Hell yeah, get over here. And now we're gonna pause. And so here's your massive pour. We're nowhere near it. And actually, something else is gonna come into play. I mean, honestly, you don't. Even in a raft, if you're doing this left side, you actually want to probably tag a piece of this pour over because for swimming, it keeps you away from the anvil. If someone popped out right here, they're totally swimming into the anvil. That would suck. That's what. So here's the left chute. So this is where the left chute comes in, and then here's the boulder that the left chute is. So anyway, the left chute, you got to get down because if you swim out of the left chute, you swim right here. You're just swimming towards the anvil. And if you're this far left, you have this other hole that you're going to tag. So this thing's kind of wonky. Kind of a wonky hit. Now, they do not get back. Or maybe they do. Maybe they actually... That hole actually kind of surfs them back to the... Well, yeah, it surfs them back to the right pretty good. Because they're able to hit the right side of this hole at the bottom. You just do not want to be on the left side. There's the anvil. So, that was a pretty sweet little line. You know what I mean? I'd do that. I'd do that line. All right, and then they're at the bottom. All right, let's see if there's a less conservative. Yeah, I think this one is a little... This is R2. Hell yeah, insignificant. Now, this is another one where they're just going down the right side. And they go really far right. This is kind of where kayakers... You know what I mean? So we're actually going to take a look at where they are. Because there's a couple different ways to do this entrance. So, like I said, the left of these boulders, you're just floating through here, looking for your little friend the otter. You got the flatness, you know what I mean? And then you're going through here. Don't go too far right like that guy who screams at people, because you're going to just get stuck on that rock. But yeah, then you have your two alleys. These are your alleys to pick up momentum if you're like a momentum person like I am. Else, just don't get momentum at all, and who cares? But then, hell yeah, then you set up. So where does this guy go? Well, he enters through the center, and then he actually goes through here. So that's pretty cool. He actually pops right through here, and then whoop-de-doo, whoop-de-scoop-de, and then you're kind of in this area, and then we'll see where we'll see how he gets through over here. Yeah, it's just fascinating how you can do different lines. But the classic in a 14-foot raft is here, and then get to here, and then get behind this thing. So you're still shooting for this flat rock. You're still going to the right side, finding your friend the otter, just the back side of it, and then finding your flat rock, and then converging basically right here, right in the same area. Because you have that shelf of boulders where that fun guy was. And you ain't dropping over that. But I think they go over here and then kind of work their way back. But we'll see. This will be an interesting one. We'll watch this kind of just real time. Yeah, let's just watch this whole thing, kind of identify where they're at. And again, like they're already making that move. They're already making that left to right move. So let me point that out again. They're already right here, and they're going whoop-de-scoop-de right through there. So we're gonna watch that. Okay, hell yeah, and it's totally right on. This is how you can use markers. See how this rock is kind of getting in their way? Well, look at this. You go right through here, and look at that. That's the rock that's getting in their way, and you have this huge, just kind of placid green water right there. And so, hell yeah. So now we're gonna figure out where they go. But this is perfect. You know what I mean? You take this guy's pro, taking his mom down for the first time. Holy Toledo. And now you just have all day to get scared. You know what I mean? That's why he did this. Yeah, mom's like just reefing her feet underneath the... Nah, she gets her foot stuck though. So that kind of sucks. It's not a fun thing. I don't like that at all. But anyway, so yeah. So that was a lot of... So we're already moving back to the... So yeah, you have to move back this direction. So we popped out here and then moved back over here. And then you're in this game. You know what I mean? This green area. The last area before you have your final ledge and you got to make your moves. Okay, so booyah. So here's the last little green area. I know this camera is low to the water, but that's why we do this, so you can actually see what's going on. Here's your V. Here's the left side of the V. Perfect. And then the pour over going to be just to the left of the pour over. Now he makes no effort to get back towards this side, which I would. I would get back over here and then drive left. But we're just kind of floating, and man, this hole. So we're hitting the left side of this hole, and that's fine. You're not going to get up against the anvil, but you can't be left of this hole. You can hit the left side of it. You can hit the center of it. You can hit the right side. That's the thing to do with some right momentum. But we hit the left side, and it's such a ka-chunk that it's just to call it get down like about 2 seconds, like 5 seconds before you're hitting the left side of this thing. So we're going to back it up. We're going to hit the left side of this thing and go ka-chunk. And mom gets her kind of foot stuck under. But it's kind of, it ain't bad. It ain't bad. But it is a huge ka-chunk if you're in a 14-foot raft. People, that'll be a ka-chunk because you have a lot of inertia. But hell yeah, just a pretty squeaky line through there. You know what I mean? Just easy does it besides getting a little ka-chunked. But hell yeah. I like that one. I like that one. All right, so right here we have a left line, left of hole and 2 swimmer. This is the guy that I really enjoy. We're just gonna listen to him. Hell yeah.
Cool. All right, guys, looking downstream, you see the big right-hand undercut. Slanted rock, you see people standing on it. Yeah. That's the reason you're gonna swim left. The other reason is the big pour over in the middle, which we will be left of. Okay, so if you fall out, because we done fucked up, as they say in West Virginia.
West Virginia.
One forward.
All right, so it's so hard to catch. Even I I've just been going over this rapid for 3 hours, and even when a guide says, "All right, this is what's going to happen," you're just like, "What? Okay, sounds good." But anyway, but I do enjoy you know, these guys, because they're able to give really good instructions, like, and then keep it humorful. If you fall out of the massive pour over, well, we done fucked up. You know what I mean? You gotta have that's where that screaming guide, you know, didn't have that attitude of like, hell, like, life is life out here. I only have the skills that I have, and that's the thing. If you got less skills, you know, just be like that fun guy. Be like, hell yeah, we're gonna have a fun time. And I think it's going to work out because I'm a fun guy. You know what I mean?
Hey, just so you don't have a waterproof casing.
The top.
All right, so we're doing...
It's not fluffy. One forward, it will hurt. So, fall out here. I mentioned that if you fall out, you're for the day.
All right, yeah, really good instructions on this rapid.
I'm pretty sure I had the waterproof casing in the bag.
Insignificant. First class 5 of the day. 2 forward. Did I mention that if you fall out, you're supposed to swim left? Yeah. All right, good. If you do fall out here and you're swimming, it's going to suck. This is a shallow, shitty swim. Full disclosure. It's not fluffy. One forward, it will hurt.
All right, I think that gets the job done. Did I? Hey. Did I mention that you swim left at this? And they're like, yeah. And okay, and guess what? This is the shittiest. If you do swim, apologize, but full disclosure, you know what I mean? Life is life. It's gonna suck. Do y'all get that? So did you get the two things? Swim left and it's gonna suck. Yep. I think done is done. You know what I mean? No, after that statement, no one's like, oh yeah, I didn't understand a word that, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't understand any of the instructions. Just like a yeah. So anyway, you just, you know, like a plane, you're just like, yeah, I don't really care.
So, don't say I didn't warn you. Feet braced in, ready to go.
All right, there's our auto rock. We're gonna watch this all the way through because we're doing the left line. You know what I mean? Try to pick out all your, you know what I mean? Try, hell yeah. Those are your two boulders down there. So there's your first ledge system. Behind this otter is a flat rock. We're gonna go to the left of it, but don't get too much momentum to the right, else you can get stuck like that loud guy. You know what I mean?
One more.
Yeah, there's the submerged sleeper right there. Here's your juice. This is the juice. But right now, this is your first alley. If you want momentum, you can start it here. This is your second alley right there. Oh, we're already at the ledge system. So here's your first alley. You could have got a couple of strokes. Here's your second alley, and then it's game on. But he doesn't want a lot of strokes because here's your seam of submerged sleepers. We have to get here, turn the boat sideways, find this V, and then drop. Okay, enough said.
Forward, go, don't stop, go. Now stop.
Oh, I definitely have to stop. See, this is not the way I would do this. I think I mentioned it's just too far left. Now, I do appreciate this guy and his but this is where I like to be a coach. You know what I mean? So we're going to turn off so like right here, he's saying go. Where here's your V.
Go, don't stop,
so this is such a... It's all right to have less momentum, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm always a big fan of like getting every juice and momentum, you know, from the get-go, starting more right, going more left. But you're already up against this seam, and then we're just driving left already. Well, you got this submerged sleeper, and the one on the bottom of this V right here. We totally just crank over this, and then you get a little bit of a jostle. So I just wouldn't do that. I would play it a little bit late and then start paddling. But you just have more of an opportunity to go into that pour over. But he tags this, and it actually does. It doesn't really help him because his whole boat spins a 180. And then it just glides by the pour over. Had you have been just right here, like one stroke, and then turn towards the pour over, tag it a little bit on that left side, and have your, I don't know, call it a day. But all right, we're gonna watch this.
Go!
Real chunky, flip around. So there's the pour over right there. So just, you know what I mean. But a chunk hitting these chunky sleepers, I don't see that as a real good option. Because if, like I said, if people fall out on the left side of this hole, they have a chance of swimming the anvil. And then so here's the chute that comes down too. So there's your chute. here's your, we'll take a look at some. And there's no effort to get back this direction. So we are definitely going over the left side of that hole. We're already, like, you know, going in anvil territory, but we'll see where we do. 2 swimmers on this one. All right, so we have identified the left side of this hole, and we are in anvil territory. We need some momentum this way. So I think in this case, I don't know. I would still call it just a get the hell down. Don't worry about momentum. I'd take a stroke, but then call a get down. But just a little bit late on this one. And we get 2 swimmers. And we're calling paddle strokes to avoid the anvil. At the same time, 2 swimmers fall out. Where if you're on the left side of this hole, it's a get down situation. It's a keep yourself in the boat. All right, let's watch these 2 swimmers pop out.
Grab him. Swim left. Grab him. Reach out, grab him. Swim left. Swim left. Swim left. Go forward. You got it. Go forward. Go.
All right, and I mentioned it earlier, but hell yeah, all the river converges just in a real narrow, like 2-foot section where the flow rate has to go submerged because you just have such eddies on left and right, especially on this right side. Huge eddy wall, very strong. You go deep as hell.
Go, 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 go.
So that's the franticness of just like, hell yeah, just get to them so they can hold on to something buoyant because their life jackets ain't buoyant.
Stop.
But hell yeah, they had enough right to left, both those swimmers, and they didn't get any downtime at all. You just don't be swimming for this eddy right here. Holy Toledo. That's how you get some mystery moves for the rest of your life, which will be about 30 seconds.
Go back, go back.
All right, so those swimmers are good. They pick them up. All right, let's move on. We got about 5 more videos to go, 6 more videos. All right, finally, we are going to do, well, we're going to go down the left-hand channel, and I'm squirreling in my seat, so let's take a little break. Let me catch you on the flip side. All right, hell yeah, back at it, and here is the left chute, you know what I mean? So we're totally going to watch this. This is going to be excellent. All right. All right, so swim to the middle of the river, swim to the boat. That's good. That's good. You know what I mean? All right, so here's the left entrance. I mean, you have these two boulders, and we're going over here. But in this case, this is the farthest left you can get. So let's just, we're going to turn off the volume, and let's just kind of speed this up. And I'll pause it just so it's not so shaky. But we literally are, okay, so here's our otter rock. Let's slow this down now. So this is where we would go, but we are literally going all the way over here to the left. So we do have some, you can't go any left of those rocks, that's shore. So here is an island. You do have a left channel down this island. We're not going over there, but we're going to find this channel up against this left side. So, yeah, it's real far over here. I mean, again, there's our otter rock, and we're basically, it looks like we're going down this left channel over here. So this is the farthest over here you could get. And like, let's go back, because even I forget where the hell this is. We didn't have to go back that far. But yeah. But anyway, to identify, yeah, some of these rocks near shore, we're basically dropping right through there. Okay, we got it. So let's follow this one. So we're going to follow this one all the way down this left channel. And here we're going to actually go to our Google Earth to show you what else you're going to be like, I don't even know where the hell we are. All right, here's these 2 boulders. You're all the way over here. So you're taking this channel. It's actually the most natural thing to do. But it looks like you're going down this left side of the island. But you're over here, and then you're just kind of following this channel. It's very kind of distinct, which is kind of nice. And then you line up right for this chute. So that is the nice thing about coming over here. Go all the way over here, and then just slowly work your way to this channel. But the thing is that it's not super smooth drop over to this channel. you do have some of these, like the island starts right here. So this island kind of juts out, and you know, and then the channel's kind of in there. So we'll watch that last little piece, see how they do it.
The T-grips, where's the T-grips? What's the T-grips? These? Oh, the T-grips.
All right, hell yeah. So here's where the island juts out, and so our chute is just right here. This is basically our chute, and this is what I was saying. You kind of have to get a little bit to the right, which they do. See how this actually juts out? You're like, I did not notice that. You know what I mean? So even just right here, this thing juts out where you have to get the hell over here. It looks like you just, you know what I mean? So do not confuse this left chute with this. Like, there is two little humps of boulders that you have to be on this right side. This left chute is actually more towards the center, and this rib of submerged boulders right here, this is very distinctive, and it'll be very distinctive when we actually enter from this middle, not so far over here. If you enter from the middle, then you just drop right here, and you're just kind of more in line. So look, we have to get around that stuff just a little bit. Got around it. All right, now we're just good to go. All right, hell yeah. And let's see if we can pause it kind of where this, yeah. So we don't have the greatest view. But yeah, it's really shallow over on this right side. So you kind of want to hit it more on the left, but guess what? You do have, so we're going to drop this left chute. You have this rock, I don't know, it doesn't, you don't want to be over here way on the left. You're just going to run into this, and then you're going to get kind of surfed in here. So you do want to be as right as you can, but it's real shallow over here, so you don't want to drop over this shallow ledge. But yeah, somewhere kind of in the sweet spot. So just know you had to hit a sweet spot, and then definitely call it get down. All right, now we get a really good view of this massive pour over. You're like, whoa, you know what I mean? That's pretty cool. And yeah, you kind of get to see it in action. Whoop. Oh, whoops. All right, so anyway, this pour over is caused by like a huge boulder right here. And so this is kind of the high part of the boulder, and this is the steepest. So like I said, right here on, it's kind of towards this left side, this is the stickiest place. And but everything from like here over, this whole right side is real weak. It even has current going through this right side, even starting like right here. And even this is tapered at a 45. So you can crush this whole right side. And see the difference? See how this is like almost angled at a 30-degree slope, where this is like near vertical. The water just pours over vertical right here. You know, you're just going to stop dead. And, you know, but this has some current going in about 30-degree angle and probably leaving pretty decently. So that right side is the weaker side. All right, there's not much more to watch for this one. Just because of the nature of the footage, they're kind of going sideways. Oh, well, we'll watch it all the way through. Oh yeah, these guys cranked the left. These guys cranked this hole. Actually, they just lucked out. Man, he had such momentum, kind of driving to the right, and this guy's pro because he's just got like that sixth sense. And then we're just gonna hit the right side of this hole, just so perfect. And let's watch that again. I mean, they kind of crank over the center. No, the center is right there. That's going to be your vicious. So, yeah, they did a really good job. It's pretty smooth. Pretty smooth. Not even to get down. All right, hell yeah. Crush that last wave, and we're going to move on to our next video. All right, so this one is this is the left chute, but we do the maze entrance. All right. We're going to turn the volume off until we kind of figure out where we are. So we had the, let's go back here. So we got these 2 boulders. So we identified those. We're going to go right by them. We identify our auto rock. And instead of identifying this flat thing and then dropping down to the right, see how that guy basically turned a 90-degree angle? We just look at our auto rock and then wave goodbye. Wave at your auto rock, but then just keep going straight. So the whole idea here is you just go straight. You see this right here. Don't go to the right. Just keep going straight. And then we're actually going to go to the left side of 2 other boulders. Okay, perfect. So maybe keep that in mind. Left of the 2 entrance boulders, left of these 2 other boulders. And now you're doing it. We'll do it silently first, and then here's our left chute. And we'll definitely look at this one again. Whoa, they definitely took the right side of that left chute and kind of got buggered up. Alright, so we're going to go back to... Alright, so there's our auto rock. And it is the maze entrance. Just keep going straight. Identify those 2. The other boat was way out. So the other boat was in that channel. So how do these 2 channels converge? Well, so like right about here, like, you know, same thing. You get your 2 rocks down there that kind of hump out. The channel is not there. The channel is literally more in the center. So this band right here of submerged, this like, it's kind of maybe like 1 boulder, big huge rock, but it's submerged, and it kind of makes a dividing line between the chute and kind of the right line, or the traditional right line. Here's the V for the right line, because again, like I said, here's the 2 big boulders on the right side. Here's the significant drop, and so we'll come back here. So here is the high gradient drop that sets up the V for the right line, the left of massive pour over line, and then also the chute is on this same high gradient drop area. All right, let's go back to our footage. Okay, and so the chute is right here. Here's where that left boat kind of came in. They took a piece of this wave because you have rocks sticking out. So that's the difference between this left chute and then the maze chute. The maze chute just puts you right here. Now, I think they're getting too much over here on the right because it's all shallow as hell. But it does keep you away from that submerged boulder. But it is just a real... I don't know. Yeah, they're just too far to the right over here. Like, I would want to have left to right momentum, but I just wouldn't want to be over on the right, you know what I mean? Because you'll stop your boat, and then you might get surfed underneath this rock. But yeah, this chute is backed up by this boulder right there. Just keep that in mind.
Right side back.
Now, I think they're gonna clobber a big piece of this hole. Let's see if they recover. Woo! Hell yeah! Call to get down. Alright, so, yeah, he definitely called to get down. I would just call it earlier. So let's watch him hit this top hole. You know what I mean? You're driving to get more to the right, that's for sure. That was well executed. A well executed get down, and we're going to move on. Alright, so we got 4 more videos. This is an R2. Same thing, maze entrance. And the chute, this gives you a really good view of the massive pour over. So we won't talk too, well, I don't know. We're just going to let this one play through. Oh, yeah. So you're already at your otter rock. So here's where they're not doing the chute line. Our otter's over here on the right, and we just went straight. And then so the next thing we're going to identify is those other 2 rocks to be the left.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why this is so slow.
Left of that big rock. Oh, yeah. Left of that big rock.
Oh, their video cuts out.
Yeah. I think. No, it's just.
Yeah, they're thinking of to the left of these rocks that stick out. No, see, people are confusing the chute to be right there when the chute literally is right here. And here is the most significant thing, is just this division, this submerged kind of, it's a little bit arrow-like. It's not super big of a triangle. But yeah, it just divides this right line with this chute line.
To the right, it's right here.
Okay, oh yeah.
Yeah, right down there.
And we want to cut right?
Yeah, drop it and then cut right towards the pour over.
Oh, I've never actually gotten a good look at that pour over.
Alright, so hell yeah, that's a really good look at this pour over. So, again, even this left side is a little angled. So you can tag this left side and pop out of it, you know what I mean? You just can't go up and over this steep vertical right in the middle. That thing will stop you for days. And then the right side. But anyway, what I want to point out, though, we're going to go back to see them drop this ledge.
Pour over.
Hell yeah. This ledge is so backed up by this rock. So they're just getting complacent and then drifting over this left side. Where let's say they did turn sideways and then they both flipped. Let's just do the what if scenario. So they turn sideways right here. Let's say they just actually flipped. They actually literally turned their boat totally sideways, flipped, and then, you know, this guy gets underwater. Well, you're just gonna get, you know what I mean? I don't know. I don't like that. I don't like the fact that all these rocks are undercut where you can get swept underneath a rock. So this is totally a chute backed up by a rock. That's the only thing where, I don't know. But, yeah, you don't want to take a huge chunky line down this right side and have people fall out. Because if people fall out here, they're swimming right into the anvil and you're breaking a leg. You know, that's the sucky thing about running this chute. Is you must keep people in the boat. Even if it's a 14-foot raft, it's a get down. Do not fall out at the chute. Because if someone swims from this chute on down, it's going to be the crap. It's actually the most dangerous swim you could probably do. This undercut down here has never captured anyone in the history. But I don't know. Swimming from the chute, because you got sieves on this whole left side, you're swimming into the anvil, no questions asked. And that is the hazards of running over here. So keep that in mind if you're like, oh yeah. If you are running the chute and you fall out at the chute, you actually have to swim. How do you tell people that? Like, swim back towards that nasty undercut that we told you to swim away from. It's just, Insignificant has so many varied lines where actually the best place to swim is directly below this massive pour over. Alright, so we're going to watch this one more time.
Yeah, drop it and then cut right towards the pour over.
Oh, I've never actually gotten a good look at that pour over.
Oh yeah. Holy shit. It's massive. Nice! Come on! Come on! Woo!
Alright, that chute sticky because this kayaker gets stuck in it. We're going to actually kind of watch this.
Drop it and then cut right towards the pour over.
We're going to slow it down so we can see the pour.
Oh, I've never actually gotten a good look at that pour over.
Oh yeah.
Holy shit.
It's massive. Nice!
Alright, that was probably unnecessary, making people sound like different. Okay, so here we go. Insignificant, center channel, left chute. Alright, so this is the maze. Same thing. So we're just watching, yeah, this is the... So we've kind of hit it all. We started with the right line, left to pour over, and now we're doing the maze. So here we'll get to our otter rock. There's our otter rock. We're just gonna keep going straight, and we'll follow it from here, because this is probably, you're like, where the hell are we? Well, we identified these two boulders. It's funny how there's like two boulders at the top, stay to the left of, otter, go to steer. Here's another two boulders. You come around here, you'll see two boulders right where you think to drop over the chute, but it's not. It's to the right of them. And then we got that submerged triangle thing, you know what I mean, as a runway strip. And so, hell yeah, this is the submerged triangle kind of thing leading into our chute. Booyah. Alright, let's see how they do on this hole at the bottom. We've talked about it a lot. If you go over the... Perfect. They're on the right side. Ain't no thing. Just a nice solid hit. And a couple more at the bottom here. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Looking good. Okay, let's actually go back. Because I just pointed these out really fast and it was so distinct. Like, yeah, they're like, once you pass these, you're like, where the hell's the chute? Well, like we said, we have these two submerged boulders. The chute is to the right of it, but what's the marker over here? Well, you even like right here, you see it. It must be a really pretty large boulder, but it is submerged, and it kind of just makes this triangle. It's a fan that separates these two channels. Like this chute is its separate channel, so we can take a look at that. So even though you have this chute right here, yeah, you kind of have this fan of rocks that prevents, it just divvies up the channel from this chute and then kind of this main right line. And that's why you just have a sea of submerged boulders, even down here. It really separates the two. You can't be over here in the maze and then be like, no, I don't want to do this chute, and then pop through here. It ain't gonna happen. Too many submerged boulders. So anyway, all right. So that was that one. Hell yeah. This is we just have kind of yeah. This is an interesting. This is a swimmer swimming the upper Gauley. So a kayaker swims, and just be okay with that. Even in a kayak, even in a raft. You know what I mean? Be okay with swimming all of Insignificant. And after this video, you can have peace of mind of like, hey, I'm going to swim my body the exact way I'm going to take my kayak down the line. I'm going to... See, people don't understand that. The second they're swimming, they're like, oh, it must be different. Hell no. The same line applies to you as you would have run it in a raft or a kayak. And I think I need to drill that into people's minds. And for me, same mindset. Like, would I swim every rapid on the Gauley? Sure. You know what I mean? Hell yeah, let's do it, because I know how to get my boat through. And I know how to get my body through. It's the same thing. But yeah, you get a little deer in the headlights. Okay, so here's a swimmer. And this kayaker does a real good job of just... And we're after the slanted undercut, taking waves to the face. Life sucks. Could this kayaker just swam to shore? Maybe, probably not. The eddy's not that big. But yeah, this is a gnarly play. You get deep downtime. So this kayaker just helps this swimmer out. They both tip over. I'm sure the swimmer lets go. Swimmer's just fine, but at least they don't get 30 seconds of downtime. So that was a good scenario. And you just have a deep pool. So that kayaker did a really good thing. Approach that swimmer, hang on, just for buoyancy. That was the whole purpose there. You know what I mean? This kayaker actually said, this is where we're gonna go down. You know, we're gonna get subbed right here. So this kayaker's holding on. And hell yeah. Yeah, it's the same concept of avalanches. Like, our PFDs don't give us crap. You get as much as that head weighs. That's all a PFD is. It's 10 pounds. Your head weighs 10 pounds. It tries to keep your head above water. Else you're pretty much neutrally buoyant, and you're going to go deep as hell. You're going to get submerged on the Gauley for plenty of places you're going to get over 7 seconds, 10 seconds. Sometimes up to, I bet you can get 20 to 30 if you're just in a bad place at the bad time. All right, so that's Insignificant. The other thing, this is real crap footage, but we are going to see, we're going to see the end here. So let's see how they do on the bottom hole. You know what I mean? Oh, looks like they're taking the bottom hole way left. So actually, what the hell happened? This is really bad footage. But, yeah, we got to turn the volume off. But anyway, so here we're in this glassy area. We identified these two boulders. We have our first significant gradient drop. We have our, we're going to see our V. Here's our seam right here. to angle, and then we're going to drop the V and then get left of the hole. Here's our rock line if we want to actually drive this way to actually set up for the right line. If we did that, our markers for the right line are this top wave. There's nothing on this top wave, is glass, but then here's our first hole. So anyway, we're going to take the left line. We're just going to find this seam, turn left, stay away from these sleepers, and then charge. And it'll just take a paddle stroke, you know what I mean? Small boats, hell yeah. Just turn left a little bit right here. Here's the V. Take a couple paddle strokes. These guys even kind of clobber a piece of that hull, kind of. A lot of head down. Can't see too much with this point of view. But hell yeah, we're totally clobbering the hull. So that was the thing, is we just got too much momentum to the left. And now we're in anvil territory. But yeah, huge get down. Let's hear this. It sounds like we're playing Atari. Now you can't hear crap. But yeah, this wave. Anyway, we're going to turn the volume off. But hell yeah, these small boats, you know what I mean? Yeah, these last two waves, they'll tip you out, you know what I mean? Or just flip you. Especially because you have this wave backed up by another one. But hell yeah. Yeah, that wave right there, that'll probably flip you. But then you got another one too. So 2 waves right in a row. Kind of a little flippy area for small boats. Alright, hell yeah, we did it. Man, that was insignificant. It took me a few days to actually, you know, put in the effort to be like, holy Toledo, this is going to be like a 3-hour endeavor. But hell yeah, we did it. We went through a lot of footage. I think it gives you perspective on what Insignificant is. And now you can look at footage from, you know, bird's eye view, from shore, point of view. Especially looking at point of view. Point of view is really hard to see. You're like, where the hell are we? You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like these guys. Like, what is the left chute over there? No. We identified this seam, but see how these markers are just so like, you know, like that's your marker. You know what I mean? Just a little bit of a dark line in the river. You know what I mean? This whole West Virginia is just all green, bushy trees that look like you're gonna hallucinate. Look at that guy. Look at that little mustache guy right there. He's just like, hell yeah, that guy's gonna be there forever. You know, I hallucinate a lot, so that just gives you a point of view on that. My other channels, Hold My Bipolar, Watch This. Look at these little guys in the trees. I just hallucinate for days, you know, just looking at West Virginia forest. All right, something kind of fun to end the video with. The fact that I have bipolar and I'm probably not going to go down to West Virginia because I'm a homebody. I do want to go. It's on my bucket list. Maybe not this fall, but I'm there. I'm there with you in spirit. I'm making these videos. I've gotten to run the river 1,000 times. Hell yeah. All right, thanks for joining me on this one. That's Insignificant. Have a great night. I know I will.